Well, hello. Welcome back to Wednesday's live stream. What will happen tonight? I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving holiday. I took off last Wednesday and last Sunday, so I had a week off and I'll be a little rusty, but I hope everybody's doing good. I see that we have quite a bit of people here. Hello, hello. I got a couple laptops in the queue here for tonight. Before you vote, I just want to tell you a little bit about them. And so the M18R2 is going to be one that the customers in chat, they said that they would log in tonight so we can watch it. That one it seems to run off the AC adapter just fine. Seems to charge the battery okay, but then whenever the battery, whenever you unplug it, just shuts off, so it's not powering off the battery at all. The XPS 9700, the customer bought a battery from us. They installed it into their laptop. Now the laptop does not turn on anymore. So what do you think? I don't know. And then the other one is the Area 51. I had my tech working on it today. It's actually up and running, but then it wasn't running right. So he opened it up and you saw a bunch of burned up, blown MOSFETs. So that's going to be kind of a horror show. But anyway, a little education for your voting. So if you're on Twitch, vote. If you're on YouTube, vote. But welcome back. Welcome back. Hello from Jamaica. Happy Thanksgiving from Connecticut. Everyone's doing, man. I ended up having two Thanksgivings. I ate on Thursday, and then I went to some family on Saturday and ate again. So I got to eat twice, which was nice. Hello from New Jersey, Kosovo. All right, we got some people voting. That's good. Hello from Norway, from Canada, Calgary. Just loud. Oh, okay. Do you have schematics? I don't give away schematics because they're not mine. So you can go search for them. Sorry. Yeah, so just search for LAF311P. Go to badcaps.com and sign up, contribute, and then they may give you some. Hello from the UK, from California, San Diego to California, Georgia, South Carolina, the UK again, Sydney, Australia. We got Florida, we have Netherlands, and Pennsylvania. Oh, Ahmad. Hey, Ahmad from Pennsylvania. Sweden, Orlando, Florida, New York, Oklahoma, Virginia. We got lots of people here. So we got people tuning in, 254 people so far on YouTube. It looks like we're up to 33 on Twitch. Make sure to cast your votes. We're about halfway through our poll, and we got about 5 more minutes left. And so vote on which machine you want. Remember, the one that's the M18R2, the customer is going to be in chat, so you guys can speak with him. He is, what's his name? Clifford. So Clifford's supposed to be in chat tonight, and so you can ask him lots of questions on the M18R2. The 9700 is going to be the one where the customer bought a battery, and then now the machine doesn't turn on anymore. So, whoa, it's 4 a.m. where you are. Oh, my goodness. I am so sorry. Yeah, Wednesday nights are kind of hard for people on the other side of the world. Hello in Brazil and Seattle and Washington, or Wisconsin, excuse me. Virginia, amazing people from everywhere. That's right. Yeah, our Sunday gets a little bit even more all over the place because we're doing it Sunday morning also. We got Scotland here too, Portugal, India, watching YouTube and chatting on Twitch. Nice. Hello, bud. Nice, nice, nice. Good job. So yeah, a few more minutes left on the votes. Hello, hello from Brazil. So a few different things. Let's see. I was going to show you something. I can't remember what it is now. But so I had an interesting repair today, actually. You remember? Here, let me pull it out, actually. I'm going to show you this while we're kind of waiting. This is an M18R2. And this machine is ANKit's. Do you remember ANKit? We did a live repair for him a while back, but he had like an older Alienware. Well, this is his newer Alienware that he had. And he sent it in because the GPU was not working. And so basically, he had replaced the DC jack, and then because it wasn't powering on, and then the GPU wasn't working, he sent it in to me. I spent a lot of time because whenever I ran Mats and Mods, which is a GPU tester. It basically pointed to one of the VRAM modules being bad. So I replaced the VRAM module. I reflowed the GPU. I did all sorts of stuff. I sent through ultrasonic cleaner. I could not figure out what was going on. And I had a conversation with him today. And he pointed out that, oh, it only started happening after he changed this DC jack out. So I started hunting around and I found that he had ripped a resistor off the board. So let me show you what I ended up fixing. And it was kind of a nice eureka moment because I had been kind of struggling with trying to fix this. But if you can kind of see that, so that's my fix. But where's my tweezers? So this, hair on my tweezers. So this side was intact, but this pad right here was completely ripped off. And I spent a lot of time trying to redo this trace over and over again. But basically this whole trace was ripped out of the way. And I kept trying to put a new one on, I ended up with 5-6 different attempts of trying to get a new trace on there. But anyway, finally got the new trace in there, got the new resistor put on there. And now that VRAM module can write just fine because it was a write error to the VRAM. So this has an RTX 4080 in it. We were trying to price one of the boards if we had to replace the board, and it was very expensive. So, because I don't have a 4080 board in stock, I only have a 4070 and a 4090. And the 4090 board is like $1,350. So, anyway, so that was a fun one. Customer error, and Kit, you know, can't fault him too much. Hello, you're back with ads. Sorry if you have the ads. Yeah, you can use one of your Prime subs if you have that, and you can on Twitch, and then it will get rid of the ads. I don't have any ads running on YouTube, but Twitch makes you do that, so that's how it works. But Ankit's happy. He saved him some money. So, okay, it looks like our poll ended. I did not pull up the polls. Let's see. Sorry, I forgot to set the poll up for you. Poll. Which one is it? That one? I got to select the right window. Okay. Nope, that's the wrong window. Poll. There we go. All right, so there's our poll. It's still not even showing properly. So 55% on Twitch, and looks like 34% for the M18R2, and then 34% on YouTube. So whatever has the highest percentage is what we're going to first. And so we're going to be doing the M18R2, and then second, we're going to do the 9700. All right? Sound good? Sounds good. Okay, so let's get going on that. Quit our lollygagging. Let's see if we have any questions before I get going, but They unplugged the battery and replaced the RAM, and then plugged it back in, and it's only work when it's plugged in. Uh-oh. Something got ripped off the board. That's the sign of that. So let me grab this M18R2 that we're working on. Another M18R2, by the way. Great, I'm dropping stuff here. All right, so there it is. Now these machines are like $3,000 machines when they're new. I mean, depending what specs you get. I think I saw one priced for $4,000. So, oh, here's my, I don't know if you've seen this. Look at this new shirt. I saved another laptop. I just got some of these in. They're pretty cool. Uh-oh, my microphone fell down. See if I can fix this. You guys didn't tell me I sounded weird. All right. Breaker 19, can you hear me? Is that better? Okay, there we go. It was just dangling. Okay, is that better? The volume seems low. Does the volume seem better now? Much better. I wouldn't even notice that, but I was happy to look down at my shirt for a second. All right, new day, new laptop to repair. This time we have an M18R2. This is the customer, wait, let me pull up the notes here. You guys can read it exactly. There we go. It says the laptop will power on just fine, function normally but when it's unplugged from the charger, it shuts off. Battery seems to charge, but will not run the laptop itself. So if we have some issue where we have the battery is kind of isolated from the from the charger, so the charger can run it, the battery can't run it, but it can charge. That's kind of a strange one. But I think we would use the term as comeback. The comeback may be messed up. There's a MOSFET that separates the battery from the motherboard or from the main power rail, and that may be what's actually messed up. So, your boss ever thought of expanding your expertise? Well, I am the boss. I'm the owner of this company, and you don't. It's hard to expand. Basically, if you're going to be a master of something, right, an expert, then just be an expert in it, right? We're not trying to do all sorts of brands and all this stuff, right? So would you really like sending your laptop off to a company that says, I work on anything I can take in? No. You want somebody who knows what they're working on, right? So I've looked into like selling parts for other brands or whatever. It's too hard. It's too hard. I already have 700,000 parts. I would need like a bigger warehouse, more stuff, bigger inventory. I have 40,000 SKUs right now. How many more SKUs can I take, right? I don't know. Anyway, can you hear me now? You still have your M18R2. M18R2s aren't very old. They're like 2023, I think. They're fairly new, or even 2024. They're great machines. So let's turn this guy on. Let's take a look. And this one probably will take a 330. No, this one probably takes, this is only a 240. Oh, let's look at their AC adapter. Is it real or is it fake? Do you think this could be their problem? For some reason it doesn't power off the AC adapter. I don't really understand. Oh my gosh, it's a 360 watt. Dude. No. This is not a 360 watt charger. It may say it on there, but if this machine thinks that this is a 360 and tries to pull 360 out of here, this thing says it can deliver 18.46 amps. Fake. Here, let me grab a real 360. Let me show you. This is a real 360. Oh my gosh, this thing is so much heavier. Huh, where's my scale? Is it real or is it fake? Well, today on Is It Real or Is It Fake, we're going to see if this one's real based on the weight of the item. All right, so here's a real 360. Here we go. Here, let me get the customer's laptop out of the way so we're not like putting this on top. A little side jaunt here to the Is It Real, Is It Fake land. So here's our chargers. All right, so got them lined up on the bottom here. Okay, we can already see that this is shorter. This is actually the shape of a 240 shell. So I think they just used like a 240 shell and then wrote 360 on the outside. And then this is the newer style 360s that Alienware is making. I don't know how they're able to put 360 watts inside this thing, but definitely smaller, definitely a different shape. But let's weigh it. Hello. All right, in grams. So it's pretty heavy. Must be those weights they have in there, right? 590 grams, 589 grams. This one's substantially heavier. This one's 757. 747. So substantially heavier. I could tell by holding it. So this could be the problem. I don't know. Do you think we should start up by using his laptop with his AC adapter and see if we start getting fails? Or should we just plug it in with my correct chargers? What do you think we should do? Don't confuse him. Oh, it's always fake. No, I'm trying to show real stuff here. All right, so let's see. Concur. So what are we concurring again? Use mine, use his. So here's how we think about it, okay? We can go, okay, we boot it up with mine. Everything works great. This is what ends up happening is I always boot it up with mine when I first get it. And then I'm like, okay, well, everything's working. So is their charger bad? So then I go in and grab their charger and I'm like, oh, it's fake, you know? So But I kind of am interested to start with theirs just to see what it does. I want to see their symptoms. Yours. Yeah. Well, it looks like most people want me to use mine. So I think democracy says, do it. Use yours. Here, I forgot. I need to pull up this chat here. I can't see. Pop out. Can't see the Twitch chat very well. So I need to pull up a separate one here. I forgot to do that. Okay. That's good. All right. So we will use mine. 360 gigawatts coming up. So I have a 330 wired in here. We can just run it with the 330 even, but here, let me plug this in. All right. And then here's what's crazy is like this right here. You see this one? This is a 360. This is a real 360. This is a 280. But this is an older style 280. I mean, still a newer style actually, but it's a 280. It's bigger. I don't know what that means. Why they would make it so big. For airflow? For longevity? I don't know. It's the hunk of lead. Okay, so what's great about my power meter, if you haven't built one yet or seen them, so the power meter is essentially just a voltmeter with a pass-through, voltmeter pass-through. So I can just unplug the charger from it here, and I'm going to plug this 360 into it because I did have a 240 plugged in. So now we're going to be running the 360 through. Is it 360 or 380? Whatever it is. We're going to be running that through there. And now we're ready to go. Now we're ready to go. Okay, here we go. You have a 280, whatever it takes. 280, 360, 380. Thank you. I can't forget. The old ones were 330s. That was like, I know I have a 330 wired in here, a 240 wired in here. So if I need both of those or one or the other, but I rarely need anything higher than that. Okay, here we go. So we're going to plug this in. Waiting. And this is my charger, not his charger, just so we're on the same page. So it's not pulling any current. I mean, it's 0.05. I mean, that's really nothing. I don't smell anything. Should we do the old nose around? No, it smells fine. All right, pressing the power button. And we have 8 amps. Okay, so I'm going to go into the BIOS real quick. It is powering up. So I don't even see a battery here at all. So, okay. This could be like a quick one. But here's what's interesting. So he has a fake charger. Wait, this says 360. So it is 360. I don't know why 380. Whatever. Anyway, battery's not here. He had a fake charger. What do you think about him having a fake battery? Or it's not plugged in. Or it's not plugged in all the way. Or, yeah, I don't know. All right, well, let's open the bottom up. So no battery showing up. Now, the thing is that you see how fast the laptop turned on? If the battery was not plugged in, this thing has like a 5-minute CMOS reset, so it would take a long time to actually reset the BIOS. And so the fact that it turned on pretty much immediately tells me that the battery's probably plugged in. I bet this battery's just a fake, crappy battery. Do we have a bet? Do you bet me? Do you bet that this is a fake battery? It was a bad boy. Governments don't like it. Definitely fake. Fake. This keeps making me think of that Seinfeld episode with Elaine. Fake. Poll time. Yeah, because we have time. I got screws. It's going to take me a while to get this bottom off. Is it real or is it fake? Will this thing have a fake battery inside to go along with its fake charger? We will know momentarily on this episode of Buying Fake Stuff for My Alienware. Customers are saying buy Chinese discounted parts. You're saying customers buy Chinese parts at a discount? Well, I mean, the thing is that a real battery costs like $130 or whatever. A fake battery will cost $40, you know. A real charger probably costs $100. A fake charger costs $40, you know. Oh, man. Okay, here we go. Well, I bet the person thinks it's a real battery. Oh, and it's disgusting inside. That's a fake battery. And it's dirty. I don't know. I don't know if you can tell how dirty it is. But I don't like how dirty it is. It's a little furry. I think they have cats. I think there's some meow meows around. Look at all this fur. A little dusty. It doesn't look that bad in the camera. I'm not super enjoying it, so I might do a pre-blow. We may de-Gucciify it ahead of time and then start messing with it. But if you want to just go raw dog right into it, let's grab a battery that's real. Let me grab a real battery. Real, if I can find one. I know I have one here though. Where are you at? Where are you at? I got stacks and stacks of batteries over here, and I try to label them the best I can, but sometimes I'm a little bit less organized because I'm always digging through the stack of batteries. Is this it? What does it look like? Is it that one? That almost looks, yeah, is that it? What's the type number on this thing? Yeah, it's the right battery. Okay, does that have the right plug? That's the right battery, right plug. Okay, here we go. Oh, it says M18. I even had a note on it. It says M18. All right. So, all right, do we think it's just going to be the battery and we're going to move on with life? Is it real or is it fake? Yeah, this doesn't have a serial number. This is all janky. Y'all want to compare these batteries before we do it? Jankified. So you can see, like, here's the font here. This doesn't have the word Dell here, which Dell's been doing that sometimes where they don't put that there. But what you want to look at is the font. It's like they said, oh, I can't find the right font, so let's use a different font. I don't know. Because to me, it seems like if you were going to fake something, just fake it. Like, for real. Maybe their intention is to not fake it. So here's where the PPID normally goes, which is a serial number sticker. So anyways, so I'm going to plug in our battery here. And before well, I guess we'll just do this. I was going to say plug it in without opening it up, but yeah, the fonts give it away a lot of times. I mean, it's the same thing with like spoof, like emails and spoof websites. It's like, you could fake it better than that if you really wanted to. It's like they're trying to only filter out the really dumb people. Problem happened with the battery before. Wait, where'd that message come from? Oh, Cliff says the problem happened before the battery. Right. I forgot about that. Okay. All right, Cliff. You're right. I remember you telling me that. Okay. All right. I got to move on with that. Sorry about that, Cliff. Yeah, I forgot you were contributing here. Let me pull up all your chat thing here so we can see. Your dog sits on you. Perfect. So it's dog hair. It's not cat hair. Okay, perfect. So the fake battery did not cause the issue. This is going to take about 5 minutes to turn on, so we're going to be messing around just for a minute here. Yeah, you should have warned me about the dog hair. Yeah, it's not bad. I might do a pre-blow just to get it out of here, just so I don't start sneezing. It didn't take too long. But fake batteries in general are a pain, but the fact that the battery's not showing up could just mean that it's completely depleted because it's not charging. So it could be something totally not related, like you were saying. And it could just be that your charging circuit's not working properly to charge the battery. And yeah, this battery is detected, says charging state. Doesn't mean it's charging, but it says charging state. So my battery is 0%. is detected, says charging state. And so what I mean by says charging, it just means the word is there. Doesn't mean anything more than that. So I'm going to boot into a diagnostics. We're going to take a look at inside the diagnostics, and we'll actually see how much current's going into the battery. And to get into diagnostics, you hold down the FN key, hit the power button. That will boot us straight into diagnostics. Is it going to? Just thinking about it. Ah, I skipped it. So I need to try it again. I guess I didn't hold it down long enough. So it's moving the windows. I'm going to shut it back down, and then we'll do it again. Now unplug it. Do you want sell him a genuine battery, sir? And he has his battery at home, so if it is a battery if his other battery at home is still good, then he can just return the fake. 99 watt hour, definitely by international aviation safety regulations, capacities, the highest that you can carry on. That's right. And that's pretty much the biggest I've ever seen in history inside of a laptop. So I'm just trying to cover your screen here, Cliff, while I shut it back down. 1.91 gigawatts, Euro gigawatts. All right, let's boot into diagnostics again. Have you had good luck with batteries ordered via a large European spare parts shop? They sell both OEM and aftermarket. Typically, I only use aftermarket ones if they don't have OEM. I don't know, because I only sell OEM. So, and I can tell you that batteries are less likely to cause an issue with the laptop. They're just not going to last as long, and they're not going to be able to supply enough power a lot of times, especially on gaming laptops. They won't be able to keep the laptop on. It will like just clunk off because it hits its like current load or whatever, or it does a voltage sag. But AC adapters, under no circumstance will I condone plugging one of those into your laptop ever. Because if you look at the dirty electricity or dirty current that's coming out of those cheap AC adapters, it's not worth it. All right, we are in diagnostics, and we're at 1% and we're charging. This is interesting. We haven't done anything, by the way. But so I'm seeing 3.8 amps. Can you all see that? Is it kind of tiny? Here, we'll zoom. Okay, so we got 3.8 amps current going into the battery. Okay, so if we look at our current meter, I have, it looks like 8 amps going into the whole machine. And then so 3.7 amps of it's going into the battery itself. My battery's up to 2% now. Okay, so it says it's charging the battery. Is it going to run off the battery? So like Cliff was saying, when you unplug it, it's supposed to shut off. So let's try that. Now we're only at 2%, so it's not going to have much, room here. But all right, let's see if it stays on. Oh, got to reach around here. The old reach around. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. It stayed on. I got it unplugged. It's just blinking like it wants to die. So Cliff, I think we have the system seems to be working fine with my charger and my battery. I don't know. So it seems to be working. So I think it's time. To go to Cliff's aftermarket charger. The old aftermarket. All right. So this charger is very light. This charger is very heavy. So I'm going to unplug my 360 that's stock. All right. I'm trying to, this is at 3%. I think I have enough time to do this, right? Here, maybe I'll switch. I'm going to switch to the 240. All right, I just plugged my 240 in. So it should switch to 240 here. Let's see if it starts charging on my 240. And while it's doing that, then I have enough time to swap out his charger. So it says charging, but we're only charging at 1.45 amps, 4.6 amps. That's the problem with using an underwatted charger. It will run the laptop, but it won't have enough headroom to charge the battery substantially. So we're at 1.46. I'm assuming that that's probably what your charger is going to do. That's what my guess is that I don't think this thing has enough power, but it says it has enough power. Just a guess. I don't know. So we're going to plug this in. All right, you ready? Don't kill the battery with this charger. It's a test battery. I don't care. How's that? Does that make you feel better? Test batteries, they're made to be destroyed. Okay. All right, so we're at 3%, but it's only charging really slowly with my 240. I'm going to unplug that. We're going to switch to his charger. His charger is plugged in. It's pulling, it says it's a 360. I don't think so. So let's pay attention to the voltage. I want to see if we have a brownout situation where see it's at 19.24 volts. We haven't negotiated yet. We're still at idle. So I'm just waiting for that to kind of kick on. It's hard for me to get this. Okay, 3.8 amps. Okay, pay attention to your 19 volts there. It's charging at 3.8 amps. I mean, it says it is. We're still at 19.24. It hasn't sagged too much. I don't know. But it's only pulling 165 watts. This thing has 365 watts, or 360 watts. So fake chargers way less than they should, and that's correct. And a lot of times they put weights inside of them, so I don't know. I can't imagine this charger putting out 18 amps because it says it has a capacity of putting out 18 amps. Let's boot this thing up. Let's have it charge the battery. Let's put the GPU on full stress test, and let's crank that CPU up and try. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just kidding. So I'm not super interested in having this laptop run that long on this aftermarket charger, but this thing did move to 4% using his charger. So let's go back to his battery now. We still haven't really done anything, just to let you know. So I don't know if you guys are impressed. I'm not impressed so far. Let's. So I'm going to leave this on, I think. Maybe I won't leave it on. Sometimes I like to leave stuff on and just plug things in. But with the aftermarket battery being kind of weird, I'm not going to do that. So what I want to do is I'm going to plug his battery back in. We're going to boot into diagnostics, and I want to see if the battery is detected in diagnostics, or we may need to be trickle charging the battery back up because maybe it's a little low. But I have a feeling that your aftermarket battery is bad, or it's not plugged in all the way. I just turned it off. We got a new Prime sub. Oh, you got a tier 1 for 6 months, Premise? Thank you. Okay, so this thing, this is this is a real battery, but it has a cable that comes around and plugs in the back. And so maybe it's not plugged in all the way into this. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. We have to establish if it has a charge or not, and I will do that in a second. Let's make sure that the connection, well, I guess I can plug it in and see what our voltage is before we mess with it and then after. So we're going to measure the battery connector right here. This is with his battery. And we're at 11.1 volts. So it's showing up 11.1 volts, but the data and clock lines are not present if it's not being able to communicate. So let's make sure that this is plugged in all the way. Kevin, thanks for the donation. Clifford is going to get any money that's donated to this stream through super chats and things like that go towards the customer's repair. Just to let you know, I do pay it forward to them. And so if you feel like contributing, you can definitely do that. All right, let's look at this connector here. Going microscope. This looks plugged in to me. What do you think? Looks fine. So the way that these, I don't know how much you know about batteries. I'll let you know. We'll just go ahead and give some information so a lot of people don't know. We're going to have, usually it's going to be 3 or 4 lines on these connectors are going to be positive and 3 or 4 are going to be negative. Marcus, thank you. Whoa, $20 donation. Thank you so much. So usually I have 3 or 4 of the lines are going to be positive, 3 or 4 of the lines are going to be negative. They're usually on the opposite sides. This is for Dells, by the way, Dell and Alienware. And then you're going to have usually 4 lines in the middle. So the next 2 next to the, whenever the positive voltage ends, so you'll have positive, 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 positive. This is 3 of them. Then the next 2 are going to be data and clock. Then you'll have a space with nothing, and then this one's going to be a ground. And that ground, or it's not ground, but you tie it to ground. And then that will, and that will put the enable on. And this one actually might be the temperature. I forgot about that. But so basically you have all the lines are going to be used, but you have to have an is present, and so that's why I always talk about that. So you ground this one to this one, and then that will turn the battery on, and the data clock is the communication lines. But everything looks fine there. We'll reseat it anyway, just for kicks. I'm doing bad at chat tonight. I can feel it. I can feel that I'm neglecting chat. It's hard, though. It's hard to multitask and read. Reading is hard. There's just so many words. It just doesn't give up. The Nate Bargatze. Do you ever listen to Nate Bargatze? He's like, my eyes can read just fine. He's like, books, they have just so many words, and it just doesn't give up. It doesn't let up. It's just like on and on and on. And that's how I feel sometimes when I'm reading the chat. It's just like glazes over, so many words. My battery only charged to 69%. What do you do? Okay, so with that type of situation, make sure that is it a new motherboard or anything like that? Because sometimes it's a motherboard setting, actually, which is kind of funny, because if it's a Dell motherboard, you have to make sure that the ownership date is set, or else they have it locked at a, they won't go past 55% usually. If it's 69%, then you'll either have a charger issue or a battery issue or a motherboard issue, obviously, but I don't know what kind of battery it is, so if it's a new battery or not. Very nice. Toward a new battery or new charger. Let's see. Fake selling charlatans. That's right. Everything, well, at least this one didn't look too fake. Fake, 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 fake. All right, I'm going to plug this one back in. Because sometimes they like knock it off like a Louis Vuitton bag or something. So Cliff can donate because he wants to get it back. Yeah, Cliff, donate to your own cause here. My battery wear level is 55%. Do I change it now? 55% basically just means that you're based on the amount of times you've charged the battery and its capacity that it has noticed, basically, when you charge it up to 100 and discharges it. Cliff even said the original charger issue. Cliff even had the issue with the original charger. We're going to probably end up having to pull this motherboard out and take a look at the power management chip then, because if everything seems to be working right now, it's very strange that it works with my stuff and not with his. So, so I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, so wear level at 55% just means you're kind of like half of life. So if it should still work for a while. You know, it's just you're not going to get as long of charge or longer use per charge. That's the only difference. It has become more than the battery, because the reason I replaced it is that it would not work without the charger plugged in. That's crazy. Cliff, I don't know, buddy. Everything's working right now, but I don't know. Yeah, so if we on Twitch, if we try to keep it above 75 viewers, then I can become partner, which is supposed to be better overall for the channel. So that's what we're trying to. Our goal is. I've been actually doing pretty well. We've been averaging about 84 to 86 per stream, and so right now we're at 68. So we'll just need some people to come over to Twitch to kind of balance that out if we can get it over 75. Okay, so your battery is now detected after I reseated everything. So you remember the battery, his original battery was not detected at all. So we've reseated it, reseated the cable, reseated the plug. Now we have 97%, it's at idle. I'm gonna unplug this, and it's powering off your battery. Cliff, you was doing it before you replaced this stuff. So you don't think that your cable wasn't plugged in all the way? Because it's working now. I'm running it off your battery. This is your charger though, if I had it plugged in. But right now we're just gonna run it off your battery. Wait until the battery is fully charged in the test again. So the battery's at 97%. I can't charge it. When it gets to about the late 90s or high 90s, it will stop charging. So there's nothing really I can do there. Liquid metal's the devil. Yes, so there's probably liquid metal on this machine, and it is the devil. I have my LLM shirt on yesterday with a description of what leaking liquid metal is. It's got to be the cable. Yeah, I'm thinking it has to be the cable too, but if you were saying it happened prior to this, that's the whole problem with this whole premise, premise 187, is that if this whole symptom started, right, Clifford, you were just using the machine and then you're like, man, there's something going on. Let me go ahead and replace what'd you place first? Charger or the battery? You suspect a bad UPS strip? You unplug the cable. Okay, let's see what it says. I unplugged the cable to replace the RAM. That's when it all started? You unplugged the battery cable to replace the RAM? Let's look over there next to the battery. I still have it on. Okay, still running on battery. Let's torque the machine a little bit. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to leave it on. It's on. Okay, we have it on. I'm going to look over here. I just want to see what we have cooking over here. Ooh, it's cooking. It's hot. I think it's hot. Let's just look next to the battery connector, see if we have any flopping around chips or something like that. See a little bit of scrapage here. A little scrapey McGee. Just a little dusty. That's the DC jack. Still on. I can feel it hot. It's hot. Because I'm trying to run down the battery a little bit. Now I'm going to wiggle this cable a little bit so it's still on. It is a little bit floppy, but it's staying on. Okay. Oh, it's hot. These things really have some heat to them. Good night. Good night, Alfred. Okay, let's turn, I have it still on, so let me open it back up. So now we're down to 91%. This thing is going away pretty fast for a battery. For a battery like this. 91% already. So we've used 10% in less than 10 minutes. 10% in 10 minutes. Right now I can plug the charger back in. This is his charger. It brightened back up. So we got our meter up to 9 amps. We got a gifted sub. Thank you, Fire Talk. And so the battery's at 90% now. So we want to see if that thing starts ticking back up. Now we're at 11 amps. Okay, we're pulling 220 watts. This charger is hitting capacity. So look, now the charger's at 19 volts, 19.1 volts. This is what I'm concerned with. That voltage sag is going to be bad whenever it starts getting up there like that. I thought the cable where it plugs into the motherboard looked like it's damaged. It didn't look too bad to me. I'm going to lift this thing up a little bit because it's going to get hot. It's a heater. No, it is a heater. I mean, luckily it's cold outside right now, so it's feeling pretty good. I don't need the AC right now. You had to dump a whole syringe worth of liquid metal on CM5 motherboards because the syringe got stuck. And I told, oh my gosh. What? Santa Claus. That's a horror story. You should have caught that thing on video. Yeah, heat is the #1 culprit for a damaged laptop. That's 100% correct. Can I boot this to Windows? Let's go ahead and check this out. Nathan, you'll be in Austin on Saturday visiting a friend. Since you're not open on Saturdays, we can drop it off. You're going to have your friend drop off the laptops and the boards. Cool. Awesome. I mean, maybe we can meet up. Yeah, I'm not open, and I actually have a bunch of stuff happening. Oh, that reminds me. So Sunday, I can't do the live stream next Sunday because I have some family stuff I have to deal with. And so, sorry. So we're going to skip Sunday. I know. So it'll be next Wednesday. But forgot to tell you guys. I wanted to make sure enough people are on the stream so they can hear me say it. We're at 92% now. So it is charging up. We're sitting there at 19.1 volts. Remember, this is a 20 volt charger. It sags, its voltage sagging down to 19.1. A whole week, I know. Twice a week, it's pretty heavy doing twice a week anyway. But, oh man, this thing's hot. Why is the max clock speed? Oh, yeah. Have you seen this before? It always says this on these. These are HX 14900Ks, or 149, whatever it's like. Look at that. Very observant of you. It says on every single one of these M18 R2s and R1s. Go look up the max clock speed on Intel for that. It does not say that. Isn't that crazy? I don't understand. I don't get it. It's on every single one of these. It's not like an anomaly on this one machine. I've seen it every single time, and I'm immune to it now. But 'tis the season for family. Yes. You're going to go through withdrawal. Come on. Nah. All right, I'm going to boot it to Windows. Let's see how many watts we can get up to. You know, actually, what I want to do before I do that, because I actually don't want to boot on this aftermarket charger that much. I want to see what the voltage sag is with my charger. Let's do that. All right, so 19.1. So I'm going to unplug his charger, and I'm going to let's put the 240 on here. The 240 watt is at 19.75. But we're only pulling 150 watts because it's 240. So look at that, 19.7. Anything below 19, I can tell you the machine will shut off or won't work right. Okay? So, oh wait, so 8.5 gigahertz might mean constant or combined cores. Oh yeah, that's the way to measure things. Collective, right? Just take all the cores, add them together. That's smart. That's smart. All right, so that's my 240. Okay, now we're down to 19.5. Okay, so at 200 watts, we're at 19.5 with my 240 watt. So now we will do this OEM 360. This is actually a good public service announcement here, okay? So aftermarket charger versus real charger. This would be, so we can add this to our test. Is it real or is it fake? We'll plug it in and see the voltage sag. And then here's our real 360. Okay, 19.76. Wait for it to kick on to charging. Look, it didn't even move. 19.69. Look at that, man. Look at that, man. All right, so your aftermarket chargers has voltage sag. I don't know if you, I used to do a bunch of drones and stuff like that where you're building drones and drones will use these big lithium-ion battery packs, and you'll get voltage sag if you don't have big enough wires or if you don't have a combined enough cells in parallel. And so it's a kind of something you have to think about. And so if you don't have something that can supply enough power, then you have voltage sag, and it will cause damage and actually make things kind of crash. So 19.7. Now we're going to boot to Windows and see what it does. I think I just sold everybody an OEM charger right there with this example. Okay. Maybe it's 5.8, not 8.5. Yes, they're dyslexic too. What they do is they add all the cores together to measure how fast the machine is, and then they switch them around. Test the SSD. So it's booting off the SSD right now. It booted the Windows just fine. Lithium ion, don't you mean LiPo? LiPo, lithium ion. So same technology, just different packaging. So yes, LiPo packs. It's still lithium ion technology inside of it. It's just the LiPo's the polymer packs. But you can run them on lithium ion too, I guess. They don't dump as much out at once. Let me log into your thing here. Quick, Clifford, tell me your PIN. No, I got it. Just kidding. All right, we're still running. Look at that beautiful background. And let me get a stress test tool out here. Perfect comparison with using quads. Perfect. Yeah. So, I mean, anybody who's built quads or flown quads, because I used to build them is what I liked. And I always did like 2.5 and 3.5 inches. I never did any 5s or anything like that. But I always like to design them and build them. So I have like drawers of parts and I was just kind of build them up. All right. So we're just going to put stress test tools here on the desktop. So you're going to have a whole folder full of stress test tools. And let's start out with Furmark. Okay, so pay attention to our little meter. Say hello to my little meter. All right, so we're at 100 watts only, just kind of hanging out in Windows. I'm going to start the GPU at max. You ready? Here we go. So GPU at max, we went to 300 watts, but look at that voltage. It's still at 19.58. Love it. Love it. Beautiful. That's exactly what we want. Now, Clifford, would you like me to plug your charger in and try it with your charger? The answer is no, actually, but but I want to try it with your battery. I bet the whole machine will shut off on your battery. Clifford, so I'm going to turn this off. We haven't even, this is only using the GPU. Now, let me start the CPU stress test. So I just stopped the GPU stress test. Let me do the CPU stress test. Let's see how many watts the CPU will pull. I don't think it pulls that much. This is a 24-core CPU. 24 cores started up. We're going to run some prime numbers to infinity. Keep going, prime, 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 prime. So we went up about 75 watts from what we were at. But it's still sitting there. It's 19.7. It's very happy with that. So now if I start the Prime 95, well, start the GPU stress test at the same time, which I will. I'm not scared of it because I got a real charger on here. You ready? I'm only going to do it for a little bit, just real quickly. Wonder Blunder, thank you. Let's get the man a new battery. That's right. Let's get the man a new battery, or a new charger, really. Because, I mean, I think he has his old battery. Okay, I'm going to start it, but we're not going to do it for that long. But y'all pay attention to the power meter there. What's going to end up happening here is it's going to stop charging the battery, and it's going to kind of focus on putting power towards the CPU and GPU. So right now we're running the CPU at full blast. GPU is turning on at full blast. So now we're running the GPU and CPU at full blast, 340 watts running, and it's not charging the battery anymore. So it still has that headroom because we have a 360 watt charger on here, and it still has that 20 watts of headroom that it's saving. And that's usually how it works. All right. 17 amps going through there, and that's about as max as I want to run through my power meter, actually. So I'm going to stop that. I won't run it for that long. I do have a big a DC jack on there, but I don't, it's not a 330 watt or a 360 watt DC jack. So it's only a 240. So I'm stopping all those cores, and now we're back down to stock. Nothing running. Okay. So Clifford definitely needs a new charger. I really want your battery too, your real battery. Oh, I can feel the wires hot. Feel that wire's hot. But Fakery can do 18 amps, right? Yeah, so the fake charger says it can do 18 amps. But whenever it got up to what, 11 is when it started sagging down to 19.1. And if you try to pull, if this thing goes below 19, this laptop will shut off. Or it'll start messing up. Something will happen. So it doesn't like it. I can tell you that. Maybe 18 and a half is whenever it really starts messing up. But I would hate to play a game with that charger. The fans are definitely working. You double dog dare you. So I don't want to blow out this motherboard. What is this? Let me see how much this motherboard is. If I run that charger and try to do that, I'll probably blow out the motherboard. Yeah, we have a 4080 in here. I was pricing this board today for ANKit. This, the 4070 I have in stock is $900. The 4090 I have in stock is $1,350. And so This board would probably be 1,050, somewhere around there. So not worth it to save a little bit of bucks and try to mess with that. So I don't know. Do we have this fixed or not? I don't know. Everything seems to be working just fine. But this did seem like it was kind of like we didn't fix anything yet, but we did figure stuff out. We did figure stuff out, I think. Yeah, I need to clean the whole thing out. Clifford, here's what I'm going to do. I'll mess with this some more tomorrow because there's nothing really more that I can tell. And maybe I'll have you send me, you said you have your real charger and your real battery. Maybe you can send me that stuff. And then we can use that and I can try to get all that figured out. Because if we can figure out if it's like, the battery's bad, I don't necessarily want you using this battery. This is not going to hurt it that bad. It's the charger that's going to kill the machine. So, yeah, I don't know. So maybe that's the plan, but in the meantime, we'll clean this whole thing out. I'll put new thermal paste on, get it all ready, brand new again, unless y'all want to do that right now. I don't know if I want to do that right now, but I don't have my battery anymore. Okay, well, then you can live with this battery, because it's not like you're running on battery all the time playing games or something like that. The main thing is the charger, and I'm pretty sure I have a charger for that. And I don't even know if this, yeah, I mean, it'll like that 360, so 360 would be the way to go. Let me see if I have some of those. I may be out of stock, I don't know. Things just come and go really quickly. 360 watt. Yeah, I don't have a 360 watt right now. I might test one, obviously, but I should be getting some more in. Stuff comes and goes really fast, so if I have to get you a new charger, we can do that too. Anyway, let's do the next one. Next one. Are we good? We didn't even do anything with this one, but I feel like we did a lot. I feel like we we answered some questions at least, right? Let me move this stuff out of the way. Clifford, are you satisfied with the result here? All right, we're going to the 9700. Let me grab it. $9,700. It's beautiful. This beautiful 9700 right here. Let me get rid of this battery. All right. Yeah, get a new UPS. Nothing wrong with doing diagnostics and realizing it's easier to fix than you can. Yep. I saved another laptop. Yeah, I don't know if I saved it, but I diagnosed another laptop. All right, did we figure out why it was 8.5 gigawatts? Because that seemed pretty crazy. The BIOS setup to run on the PSU first, save the battery and power management chip. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Don't let your voltage sag, people. All right, new day, another laptop to be saved, and this time we have a XPS 9700. This customer said that they were replacing the battery. They bought it from us. They installed the battery, and now the machine does not turn on anymore. So I haven't taken a look at it yet. Let's take a look together and see if we can get this figured out. So I've worked on this machine lots of times and had to fix it numerous times for people having issues opening the bottom and ripping chips off. So that's what I suspect is happening here. I suspect that somebody installed the battery but had a hard time opening it up on the bottom. And then I'm going to look through different vents and stuff. We can look for marks here and see if they had a hard time getting it opened up. But they usually shove tools in here and shove tools in there and shove tools back here and, you know, rip something off in the process. So they're not mad at us or anything. They're not saying that we did anything wrong. They're just saying it doesn't work, and they probably should have sent it to us in the first place. So let's get our power meter pulled up. So here's this power meter. This is for the USB-C. I have it wired up right here. I just have it displaying up there. And let's just take a look and see if The charger's detected. Ooh, yeah, it looks okay. All right, it went 5 volts, went to 20 volts. We're at 0.0 or 0.1. Okay, there we go. I was like, it didn't look like it was starting for a second. So if you look at it here, look at the current is what we're looking at, really, the middle one, the red. So it's going 0.03. The way this thing boots up, it actually does like 0.07, then 0.03, then it jumps up to like 0.1, then it goes to like 1 point something amps, and then jumps back down, and then goes back up. So it's kind of like starting its process and then shutting back off. So it keeps going to 1.3 amps for a moment and shuts back off. Now that could be a short on the board, but because somebody has opened it up, that changes what the problem is, right? If it was just like somebody was using this thing all day long and they just shut off, then it's probably a short on the board. But because they did it after they changed the battery, then it could be that. So I'm going to plug this in on this side to see what that does. If it's doing exactly the same thing, then we're pretty sure it's going to be further on the board. It's doing the exact same thing, right? Same cycle. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So we're going to have to open it up and take a look inside, because this isn't going to turn on, by the way. I haven't tried turning it on, but just looking at the current. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? This light keeps coming on. I don't know. This one also is a machine that has an orange light of death all the time. Orange light of death. So max turbo is indeed 5.8 for the 14900. So I was right. That's hilarious. You know what we should do is actually, I should come up with a BIOS mod on that M18R2 that flips the number around. Wouldn't that be kind of funny? All right, well now it's not doing anything with the charger plugged in. Still just does that same loop. When I unplug it and try to do it off the battery, this light comes on for a second. So I don't know. That laptop dead. That laptop don't work. So it's periodically blinking whenever I press the power button, but it's not turning on or anything like that. Here, let me get a sip of my coffee here. Tonight we're drinking ice cold brew with Nate's honey. The LED of death. Yeah, that's just the LED tonight. It's not the orange light of death, but crackle of doom. Not a flash of death, because it's not flashing. It's when I hit the power button it does it. Are you planning to repair any 5520s soon? Well, Latitude 5520s usually don't break that often. And the motherboards, well, sometimes I'll fix one. I actually worked on a 5510 today, and I actually couldn't figure it out. I don't know. It was a weird one. But 5520s, they don't end up on my desk very often. Latitudes are hard. They don't break very often. She's dead, Jim. She's dead. Damn it, Captain. All right, so the bottom's hard to get off on these. It's like if you didn't have screws, you don't need them. And so I'm going to try to pry this off. Start with my fingernails, and then we'll get a plastic scribe in there. And what happens is people will pry in the back too. So we're going to look and see if they pried in the back, because you can't take this thing off in the back. And so I'll know if somebody pried wrong. She's dead, Jim. She's dead. Okay, got it in there. Slide it. Man, this is hard. Good thing I've opened a million of these. Silly construction. Well, it's not supposed to be opened. Don't you know this? No, the older ones would come off very easily, but I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a structural thing, because the base is what gives it its structural integrity. And without it on there, it's kind of flimsy on the palm rest, because this is aluminum bottom. Okay, here we go. And the bottom is off. All right, take a quick look around. We have a Dell OEM battery here, and it has a serial number and everything. We have two DDR4, and we have 2 NVMe slots, only one's populated. It's that one right there, the fans. I really like this design. These 9700s, 9710, 9720, 9730. Very good cooling, very ample cooling. This motherboard has kind of the same specs as like the 9500, which is a 15-inch version, but it has more room, better cooling. And the way these fans are set up, let me actually show you one of these fans, why I like it so much actually. So I'll pull one of these fans out. And you're going to like this too. That's why I want to show you. So the fan blows. Let me unplug it. The fan blows out the back here, so through the fins, and then at the back of this, it's opened up also. Here, we'll pull it down for you. The back of the fan's opened up also, and it blows at the NVMe SSDs. So on one side, it's blowing through the heatsink, and on the other side, it blows at the SSD. Oh. So pretty good design, and it does it on both of these. So both of the SSDs stay nice and cool from these fans. Pretty cool. Pretty genius, man. One thing I love about Asus is the laptop is unscrewing one screw in the corner, also pry the bottom off. Yeah, sounds like something is breaking when you're opening it. Yeah, it's like I'm cracking it up because it's so like snapped on. Okay, so what I want to do is we're going to check to see if we had any prying marks. So we're going to look in the back. So back here, we usually have pry marks or dents on our heatsink, and I'm not seeing any. Actually, it looks pretty clear. So I don't see anything there. And then the other spot that we'll usually see some damage is going to be right here on the edges. And so let me get both fans out of the way, actually. He's replacing the battery. He replaced the battery with our battery, right? He bought it from us, that's what he said. I'll be the judge of that. So these serial numbers, these are Dell serial numbers, but we log all of them, so I can actually scan any battery. It will tell me when it hit our warehouse, who packed it up, what shelf it went on, and then when it left, and then what order it shipped on, and all that stuff. So I keep track of all that stuff out of some software I wrote. Ugh, come on. And I could take a look and see if they actually ordered it from us. Let me pull it up. All right, gonna scan this. I'm not going to show you me scanning it, but I'm just going to check it. And that serial number does not come up in my database. So, but in the bag, there's another one. So I'm assuming this one does. And that one does. That says it was sold on November 14th. So this is the customer's original battery. This is the battery they bought from us. Easy peasy. That's how easy it was to figure that out. Now, if I didn't track serial numbers, then it'd be a lot harder to do that. Yeah, it looks like we have some text in there. I don't know what it's saying. So yeah, if you want to translate that, would be great. Wish you had a Dell laptop so I can have me fix it instead of finding it short yourself. Yeah, that's what I hear a lot. Okay, I'm going to unplug the main battery here. I'm going to plug the charger back in. Let's just take a look and see what it does without the battery plugged in. See if it does anything different. Still same cycle. All right. I suspect we have something ripped off the board. We're going to have to take a quick look around. What's your favorite programming language? Favorite, I don't know. I just do everything out of necessity. So when I started the company 20-something years ago, our website was written in PHP, so all the stuff's kind of written in PHP. So all the front-end, back-end stuff, MySQL, and then the front-end regular JavaScript and all that stuff for the front-end. But so all the back-end stuff is basically, I write all my back-end stuff in PHP and MySQL. And, you know, Python stuff and, you know, I mean, I don't know. I'm a full-stack developer, but I'm not like a modern full-stack developer, I can say. All this stuff is just it's all web-based stuff, so not separate apps. I don't work with other developers, so I'm not really good at sharing code. But all the programs I wrote internally, I got time clock systems, POS. I have inventory management systems that maps where every product is in my entire building. I have my accounting software integrations. I got fraud detection suite. And then I have the service tag tool on our website. That was a pain in the butt to write. All that stuff. Yep. Okay, I'm just looking over here while we're trying to figure this out. And then we're probably going to have to pull the board out. But what ends up happening is you see someone pry in here and it rips off components. And it's usually on the other side of the board because I get underneath this. But I don't see any damage so far. We're looking for little components or chips that have been ripped off. If you see them, yell at me. Ding that bell. Yeah, I'm going to take this SSD cage out of here. We're going to have to get some stuff out of the way. Admins need a clean house. Do we have a lot of stuff coming in? Thank you, mods. Stuff happens. Stuff happens. We only have 700 people in here right now, too. It's a little bit less than normal. Twitch is still lacking. We're only at 64 people on Twitch. I read this morning that the guy who created Linux is blaming Windows for the blue screen of death, but blames the hardware. I mean, blue screen of death is just an error. We just named it blue screen of death, right? And now it's the black screen of death because in 25H2 they changed it to a black screen. The line is Torvald. You do astrophotos too. You do drones. You fix laptops, videos. Hey, we should hang out. That's funny, yeah. That's all the stuff. Yeah, Jester, where are you at, buddy? It's hard to find somebody who is a fellow astrophotographer. I mean, I haven't done it in a while because I've been getting kind of busy, but yeah, most people are not into that stuff. I'm going to go ahead and just take the whole board out, I think, so we can look around. It's 2 a.m. over there. You're doing Twitch and YouTube. Perfect. Thank you. So if you're on Twitch and you have it muted off to the side, they won't count you. So you have to kind of interact, or you have to have it just not muted, really. But because right now, so we're going to do an experiment. Okay, Twitch, you ready? All right, Twitch, focus, focus, focus. All right, we have 64 viewers on Twitch. And then when everyone right now on Twitch is going to say hello, just say it. And then that number is going to go up. Because Twitch doesn't count people unless they're actually chatting or listening. So watch, that number is going to go up. Here we go. Look at it go. And then, because we probably have a lot more than 64. Look at all those people. And they'll have first time. Yeah, see all the first time chatters? That's what we want. The first time chatters to come in. Thank you, first time chatters. And the numbers should update here in a second. I know that other big streamers have actually experimented with this, like having them say that. And then it like doubled. Look, it hasn't even moved. Am I eating my words? Am I eating my shorts? I gotta take this heatsink off. Are they thinking that it's fake? Did they hear me say that and so they're not going to count it? Look, it hasn't even moved still. Is it going to go down? It's going down. I think that updates really takes a long time to update. Hello, everyone. Look at all these first-time chatters. 74 now. There you go. See? Wait, it doesn't say 74 on my screen. It says 64 on mine still. All right. See, it jumped up. So you see, it just proves that it's not really counting people unless they're involved. I don't know why mine's not updating, though. Oh, is someone doing some politics? Uh-oh. We better fix that. 81 now. Look at that. Yep, 81. I got 81 on my screen. Isn't that crazy? Just from people talking or twitching. Yeah, so if you ever have a Twitch stream where you feel like you have more viewers than, or chatters than you have viewers or whatever it is, just have them kind of yell out occasionally and then that will fix that, at least for a little bit. And all these first-time chatters, welcome to chat in, guys. I appreciate you being there, but you can ask questions. I have a hard time keeping up with chat. Anyway, but I do the best I can. And we have great mods. It's not a 3-hour delay. What's on a 3-hour delay? I missed that, Marcus. Twitch's count is on a 3-hour delay. Yeah, it still says 81 on my screen. I don't know what's that saying now. All right, and the motherboard is out. So my guess is we have a ripped component. I don't know. You know, this is just a guess. Happy to see over 80 tonight. All right, so let's just do a quick gander around with the microscope, the old microscope, and see if we can find something damaged somewhere. You know, I wonder if the same thing works on YouTube. Although we have 700 people, I would hate to have 700 people say hello on YouTube, but I'm wondering if that same thing works. All right, so here's our chipset. This is where one of the NVMe's plug in. A lot of times we'll have chipset issues if we're going to have a orange light of death. We don't have an orange light of death per se, but I'm going to check and make sure we don't have a short on the chipset. And so we're just going to be in continuity mode, and we're just going to check some of these capacitors for shorts. So this is going to be the ground side. So usually the chip, the capacitor, the positive side of the capacitor will point towards the chip. That's usually how it works. So I'm just measuring the inside, and that usually will be positive. And so far I don't see a short here, so we're good on our chipset. So we can mark that off as being okay. Here's a power rail we can check. Some inductors, that's fine. This is, I don't know what that is. Charge? I think it's for the charger, possibly. And so we got our 3 volt and our 5 volts are going to be on the sides here. I don't think we have an issue with those because the board kind of seems like it starts to start up. But I don't have a short there. All right, so we're going to keep looking around. Missing all the hellos. Okay, you can stop with the hellos. I don't know if that, we don't need to spam the chat too much, okay? So I take it back. But I appreciate everyone, but you can ask good questions. I feel like I started something. Let's not start anything. I'm just going to keep looking around. So here's our daughter board. It has the SD card reader and the sound, I think, is on there. All right, so we're going to keep going. There's our chipset. And memory, keyboard connector. There's the other NVMe. Am I going too fast? Oh, look at that. I mean, it's fine, but look at that. Do y'all see that? That's pretty cool, huh? It just means that this is a screw hole, or they're trying to screw in. And so, you know, the bracket that holds the, here, let me grab it. Here's the bracket. It goes like so, and then you screw it in. But I'm assuming, I guess it went this way for a second or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, that's fine. I don't think it's shorting out anything underneath there, if that's what someone's yelling out. This is a 9700, yes, XPS 9700. And so a lot of times we'll have chips ripped off on the side of the board, like right around here. But usually on the other side, but I'm going to figure that out in a moment. The audio is a separate board, kind of. So the audio is actually like one of these types of chips right here. But this daughter board that's off to the side here has the SD card reader, and it has the audio jack on here. So it's kind of an audio board. I don't know how much of the audio circuitry is on there. I know it has the audio jack, and I know it has some Realtek stuff on there. But I think Realtek has the SD card reader too. All right. So we're going to check these 3 and 5s. Hey, Jinx, can you... I can't read that. I'm sorry, bud. Can you fix that? I appreciate you being here, but please translate it before you paste it in there. All right. I don't see anything on this side. Lurking, perfect. That's all you have to do, is you just have to do a lurking command, and then you'll keep the numbers up. It went back down to 71. That's crazy. Okay. All right. So here's the side. I've seen these chips ripped off numerous times, multiple times, right here. And they are intact, and I don't see, what that? Nope, that's correct. Nothing's ripped there, nothing's ripped there. Well, I thought this was going to be something where we're just going to find it and fix it. I don't know. Is that ripped off? Nope, it's just dirty. This is just dirty. Premise is creeping. He's creeping and lurking. So here's our EC chip. We could have a bad EC chip somehow if something got messed with while it was on or while there was power in the system. But if you're changing the battery, then you're obviously unplugging it. This says ME switch, which is kind of interesting. I've actually never used this switch because it doesn't power the machine on. I don't know what it does exactly. At some point I'll figure this out. But every time I'm like, oh, I want to figure out what that is, I never spend the time to do it. This is kind of dirty. Kind of dirty. Is anyone seeing anything yet? Gotta scrape it with a screwdriver. So here's another edge where we'll usually have something ripped off, and I don't see anything over here either. And back around to that. So that's it. All right. And I don't know. I don't know. All right, so I don't know what's wrong. The end. I don't know. Anybody have ideas? It's a reset switch? I don't know. Does it clear the ME? That'd be cool. The BIOS chip? Could be a BIOS. I don't understand why the BIOS would get corrupted from that, but what it's doing is not a BIOS issue usually. So we'll plug it back in. So if we had a BIOS issue, in general, we would have something where it would sit like at 0.03, or sometimes it would jump up to 0.07 or something like that, but you would have the power rails up and running, which I guess I haven't checked to see if we have power rails. But so usually you'll get all the power rails, 3 and 5, and then the, or at least the 3 and 5. So we have our 3, we have our 5. Do we have our chipset? And our chipset's on. So 3, 5, and chipset are on. Those are the 3 things that we usually get whenever it is a BIOS. And we have 13 point, wait. I think it's the battery charge. Let's just jump it around. Let's measure what the main power rail is. I ended up replacing the X1 carbon motherboard because it would forcibly reboot when it tried to go to sleep. Literally no other symptom. Was a pain to diagnose. Oh, I hate those. I hate those. Yeah, it's like you spend so much time and you're like, just put the new motherboard in it already. Yeah. Hey, thanks for the donation on that. I know what you mean though. Sometimes I hate giving up, but sometimes you have to give up. What do we got here? So main power rail 13.4 volts. So that's correcto. Let's go thermal just for a minute. Actually, I got to turn on thermal. Let's try it again. Going thermal. Let me reboot this program. My thermal program, come on. So I have a screencaster that I have to get going. We have a new coolest fans. Thank you, Some a spy. Go to cool fans. Come on. My screencaster. There it is. All right. So I just have a cell phone off to the side here that has my thermal camera on it. And then I just cast it over to the screen. And there we go. I just want to see what's coming on here. See what's getting hot or warm. So the chipset, and we have that stupid reflection in the middle, pisses me off. So I'm going to hold it off to the side. So look at the chipset. and the CPU whenever the current spikes for a second. ME switch disables the ME. Interesting. We can run it ME free. So if we look at this, is that chipset spiking kind of high? What is it spiking up to? 36? That doesn't seem too high. The CPU is spiking to... Looks like the chipset's winning, so let me go over, let me just take it off the screen. So it's like it's trying to start up and it stops. I don't know if it's technically counts as a short or anything like that because the chipset is on. So if I come over here and I measure our chipset, which is this voltage right here, we have our 1 volt, which is strange. So let me just unplug the RAM. We might have a bad stick of RAM or something. It'd be funny if it's RAM and we spend our time just, you know, taking the whole thing apart when we could just unplug a stick of RAM. Same symptom, RAM's out of there. So nothing's plugged in the board. Board's bad, move on. Is there a spike on the side of the chipset? Sometimes my thermal camera is not lined up exactly, because if you look at this, let's see if I have this setting here. Camera align, because there's 2 lenses on here, and one's the thermal and one's the camera. See how I can actually shift the thermal versus the camera because there's a parallax type of situation happening. And so if I turn off and just do IR only, so that's IR only without the overlay of the second camera, then you'll know exactly where it's getting hot. And then if I could do the camera only, that's the camera that's on the infrared thingy, and then that's the overlay. So definitely not as precise. I don't know. Let me think about this for a second. I still feel like there's something ripped off the board. I feel like we missed it because it doesn't make sense. But let's plug a battery in. I want to see what voltage we have. If the battery has enough charge, and then it should start off the battery if we can. Liquid metal was a mistake. This thing doesn't have liquid metal, but yes, liquid metal was a mistake. Yeah, it seems like it starts and then shuts down. I don't know if it's a current overflow, if it starts something up and then detects a short, so we can go around and find a short on the board. But here, actually, we're going to need to be another thermal camera to do this. I just realized. Let me go back. Because we want to see what it does on battery. We can't see what it does on battery without a thermal camera. All right, so this is just a stupid reflection, so ignore that. And the power button, I'll have to trigger manually. Should be these 2, I think. Hey, plug in my battery into it. Cliff, you're so funny. You're so funny, Cliff. So this one takes a different battery. Oh, that's right. I was going to see how much voltage the battery has. I don't know why I didn't check that. So it says the battery has nothing. Now we got 10.9 volts on the battery. 10.9 volts in the battery. Could be a bad capacitor. That's if there's a short somewhere. But we have our main power rail. Main power rail has 10.9 right now. We have our 5 volt that works, our 3.3 that works, if I measure these. So on battery, 3.3 is not up and running. 5 volts not up and running. Power management chip. Do we have a bad power management chip? What do you think? Let's take a look at the power management chip. I think that's where we need to go next. Why was the admin blocking you? So if you are getting blocked by admins, that means that you're doing something like spamming chat, typing the same question over and over again, typing in all caps, typing in different languages, things like that, or doing any politics, you will get blocked by the admin. So if you're asking technical questions about a machine that you own, that's not something that I can answer during a live stream, but you're welcome to contribute to this live stream. And you can join our Discord, or JFix's Discord, and if you have any questions about a machine that you need fixed. Oh, sorry, camera. I thought I saw something here. But again, this board's kind of dirty. Because I don't think we checked over here. Don't think we checked over here. I feel like there has to be a broken chip somewhere. People, I wish there was some like detection tool for that. There has to be something ripped off of here. And it should be on the side that was facing up, is the thing. Right? It would be on the side that's facing up. So this is the LCD and the camera connectors. So fuses never fail, ever. I don't know why they even put them on these boards. God, I wish this guy, what's this guy's name? This is Ted. Ted, are you here? Ted, can you tell us more about this? Please, Ted. Please. Oh, I was going to look at the power management chip. That's right. I'm getting distracted here. Where's my power management chip? So if you don't know what a power management chip is, it's going to be right here. It's going to be the ISL 9538CH, very common on a lot of these Dells. So it's what's in charge of producing the main power rail, which is working. It is giving me 13.5. It also is in charge of charging the battery. And so we could still have an issue with it because it is commonly failed. Paging Ted, are you in the chat? Ted, we need you at the front counter, please. Nathan, can I ask you where you got the case for your power meter? So that's something I built. I designed it myself. It's on Thingiverse. So just search on Thingiverse for Dell Power Box or something like that. And I have the plans, printable instructions, and the parts to buy and all that stuff so you can build it yourself. All right, I'm going to plug in the charger. I just want to measure our lines here. So we should have 19 on this corner right here, or 20, whatever our charger is, whatever it takes. And then our second line, darn it, focus, focus, focus. Come on, you can do it. Okay, focused. So the second pin here is going to be 5 volts. We got 5 volts, so VDD is up and running. And then this is our 3.7, 3.9, whatever it takes. So this is AC in, detect, or AC OK. And then the rest of these should be 3. Well, that should be ground, I think. And then these are 3.3s. 3.3, 3.3, 3.3. And I think that was 3.3. Yep. And so all that's good. So this 9538 has passed my test. So, I mean, we might be leaning towards a BIOS issue. I don't really know why we would have a BIOS corruption after changing the battery, personally. Check voltages on the power management chip. That's what we just did, Dave, unless I'm late to reading your chat. You watched the video of building the power box last week. And that was like my 3rd stream ever, so it was kind of a train wreck. So I may need to do another one of those because I've gotten a lot more used to doing these live streams, but prior to that, I'm not much of a public speaker, so I have a hard time speaking continuously for 4 hours straight. Oh, Lord, this guy is pushing. Dave, yeah, I was late. Sorry about that. So should we just do a BIOS in this thing, I guess? I don't know. I don't see why it would be a BIOS, though. Let's measure around some more and see if we can find a short. That's what I want to do. Or let's put the battery. No, we have this battery has 10.9. So we have voltage on the main power rail. We have all of our stuff here. Since we're not doing Sunday live stream, we need to do 6 hours tonight. This is what Wes is telling everybody is that they should be on here for 6 hours. What do you think about that, DIY Dave? Dave always gets here early and stays the whole time. I feel, you know, for you guys in premise, you guys are here all the time. That's dedicating a lot of time. I need to get you guys some Christmas presents, I got to say. You guys are, I appreciate you guys so much. And both my Daves. I love my Daves. And Wes. I love my Wes's too. I love all you guys. And I love my coffee. Yeah, you guys are awesome. We try. Okay, so what was I doing? Come on, people. We're going to find a short. So I'm determined to find a short or determined to find a ripped off chip. And which one do you think it's going to be? Or do you think it's going to be a BIOS? It's going to be one of those three. So the way we're going to find a short is I've already actually measured the main power rails. But we need to, if it is a bad capacitor somewhere by chance, we're just going to have to switch the microscope. And we're just going to have to measure every single cap on the entire board. Have you ever done this before? It's a lot of fun. So basically you'll have a beep on one side of a cap and no beep on the other side of the cap. And that passed the test. And so we just go around to the entire board and we do this until we find it. And it's so much fun. See, that tricked us for a second. So sometimes it takes a second for it to charge up. And now that capacitor is charged up and it's fine. Is that beeping too loud? I don't know if I can turn it down. I kind of want to put tape over the speaker so it's not as loud. I know all these should be fine over here. Fine. And I guess at the same time, if you guys see something, you know, we could take this daughter board off of here. Because that's something we can take off. Because we may have like mangled pins inside the SD card reader. I feel like I keep getting sidetracked. I mean, turns out to be the Wi-Fi card. That'd be funny. That would be hilarious, actually. I mean, what's the odds do you think that that actually is dented in a way that it's going to damage it? I don't know. I don't know. All right, I took that daughter board off of there. We'll plug it in. Same thing. I mean, I guess it could be a BIOS. I don't know. What's the EC chip doing? EC chip turns on for a second. It's like the board's trying to start up. You see that? So the EC chip starts up and then shuts off for a second. We could have a shorted EC chip. Ah, yes. Yes, we could have a shorted EC chip. You know why? Because the battery goes to the EC chip, I think, right? The data and clock lines? Or does it go to the power management chip? I can't remember. I don't know. We're going to measure over here for any shorts. Eat my shorts. I don't measure any shorts. 11 ohms? 9 ohms? Gosh, that's so loud. 6 ohms? Wait. 0.4, that's... Oh, and then on the other side it's fine. See how this is normally, this would be the positive and this would be the negative, but because this one's not measuring shorted and this side is, it is backwards and it tricked me. The school I worked at IT at Chromebooks had an issue where they would flex too much and the Wi-Fi card would short them out, killing the board. Interesting. They were Acers though. They ended up sending us rubber cubes to put under them. That's crazy. That's crazy. Interesting. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. I don't see that on this board a lot, but definitely is an option. And I can definitely seen Chromebooks flex a lot. So I don't see a short on this per se. That's the crystal meth. Then we get to just go through and 0.5, nothing. It always tricks me for a second. And then I got to look up and pay attention if people are saying anything. Yeah, I mean, the Wi-Fi card is everyone, I know that everyone wasn't here when we looked at it. Let me show you what the Wi-Fi card looks like, and that's why we keep talking about it. So just a refresher, here's our Wi-Fi card. And the reflections are ample. There we go. This screw hole, or dent, screw dent, is right here. So we're saying there's a non-zero chance that this screw is touching something vital. Now, I have donor board, so we can actually take this shell off and then see what's underneath this, but because I wouldn't want to do it on this particular board, but I don't see how there could be something underneath there that close, at least, under that shield. But hold on, there might be something there. I do see something. Ooh, all right, let's get a, just for fun, just for the like shenanigans, let's take a donor board and let's pull a Wi-Fi card apart. Just for fun. For science. So here are 9700 boards. There we go. So this is the same motherboard. Should be. Yep. Same motherboard. And for science, we're going to decompose this killer Wi-Fi. We're going to kill this Wi-Fi, man. So here's our Wi-Fi card in question. And although this could be a good, wait, there you go. This is our Wi-Fi card in question. This could be a Wi-Fi card that's good, which it is probably. And so by destroying this, we're going to destroy a good one. But we're going to just try to take the outer shell off. Or we're going to just change the whole Wi-Fi card out. I don't know. I wanted to take the shield off. We have plenty of these donor boards, so I don't care about damaging it. So let's just do that. We concur. Concurrence is strong with this crowd. All right, so finally, we're going to fire up this here hot air station and get the heat flowing, get some air going. Ooh, and I got my Black Horse Omega 559. This stuff is good. This stuff is good. He has even a newer revision that's even more viscous. This is a little bit chunky still. Smells so good. It flows really well. This one still boils a little bit. His new one doesn't boil at all. Love it. So, yeah, I need to put a link for you guys to go check that out. So I'm going to try to heat this area up pretty good. Major concurrence. Yeah, Northwest Repair loved it too, yeah. And I don't, because he has a lot of revisions now, so it's Omega 559, and then he has like version 6, 7, 6, 7. I did not say that on purpose. I did not. 6, 7, 6, 7. I can't believe how many times people have said that to me recently. And if you don't have kids, you probably don't know what it is, but it's a ridiculous meme that's going around that all the kids are saying. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this cage off without pulling the whole machine off. No! 6, 7's rot. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I can see the cage is starting to get a little soft now. We'll lift this up just a little bit. I haven't even actually added any flux yet. There we go, it's coming off. Okay, that's it. Got it off. That's pretty sick. I've actually never looked in one of these, so love it. It looks pretty cool, actually. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see it better. Look at that. I think it's pretty sick. So what I was seeing here, kind of underneath the customers, I replaced the pads and paste on my Alienware X16 R2. It worked perfectly. But first it crashed, and now the 4080 disappeared from the BIOS, and am I cooked? Ooh. It worked first and then stopped. Oh, you're cooked. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Did you have liquid metal? Was it liquid metal? Because if it was liquid metal, you might just have a drop of liquid metal somewhere on the board. Or you couldn't have ripped a component. And then the pads, if you didn't put a thick enough pad on there, I mean, if you put too thick of a pad or not thick enough pad, that can be an issue. So if you didn't match exactly the thickness, then you could have an initial issue. Yeah. And then the crystal oscillator could be messed up too, like they're saying. Anyway, so this is kind of what I was seeing here. So this is where the crushed area is on the customer's board. Not crushed, whatever, the dented. And I don't think that's an issue, right? So this right here is right there. So no issue, right? False alarm, you concur? So back to the customer's board. That was fun though. I do like what that, shoot. I do like what it looks like underneath there. And I just heated my table up so much that it's swelling. So, did you say it was liquid metal? Sorry, I missed it. I believe so. I didn't get the pad millimeter right. Do I have to pay up front or no? You don't. You just if you want me to ship you a box, then you pay up front for that. It's like $49. But other than that, it's yeah, you pay at the end. And we'll do whatever we can, you know. So if you have liquid metal leaking everywhere, the LLM situation, then we'll have to find it and clean it up. But it's fine. It's fine. So we're talking about, is there a crystal oscillator grounded? Are we talking about this crystal oscillator on this machine? Because you're talking about the crystal oscillator on the Wi-Fi card, but I don't think that would keep the machine from posting or powering on. So if we go back to this crystal oscillator right here, it can't be dented enough for that. Because this is the ground. It's over here where it's dented. So I think we're okay. So I still think we're okay, right? Still think we need to keep looking. What time is it? Have we I don't even know if we've even fixed anything at this point. We diagnosed something, kind of. What is that? What is that? Some of this looks weird, like it's almost like liquid damage, but it's not. This is just like flux, dried flux or something. I don't see. Ted, where are you? I think we might be going for BIOS soon, but I just need to keep measuring around. And I'm missing chats here. Need 18 more followers, buddy. Yeah. 18 more. So we're at 1,182 on Twitch. If we can hit 1,200, that'd be awesome. So we just need a few more people to go over there and follow on Twitch. Does the board look warped? Let's see. I don't think it does, but the way these boards are, they're kind of flimsy on the outer skirts anyway. So like if I hold on here, it warps very easily because these arms are really thin. Did the dent screw go through the PCB of the Wi-Fi card? No, it didn't. It's just barely denting. And it's not even dented far enough to look like it's doing anything. I mean, so I think we're fine. I don't think it's severe enough damage. You had 18 different Gmail accounts. No, I don't need bots. We need real followers, please. Real. I just need to measure more shorts. We just need to find the short and move on. We can find the short or broken capacitor or whatever it is, broken component. Because the fact that it tries to start could be a BIOS. So we're just going to measure some more capacitors here. So again, I'm measuring on each side, and I just want one side to not beep. So here's our dent. Right, measure the Wi-Fi card over here. I'll even do some of these resistors, which don't really usually mean anything. It's looking more and more like firmware to me at this point. So what is this? 21, this is the VRAM probably. Or no, wait, this is the CPU. It's just gonna be one of the CPU coils. Like. On the Wi-Fi shield, can you check if there's a hotspot? Sure, let's do it. Anything helps. So we usually invest in repairs and move on and give up. Well, I don't like to give up, so too much time. How's that? I hate failing, I gotta say. This is not one of those types of things where I'm like, I can't fix it in 15 minutes. No fix. That's not who I am, so I want to fix it and not, you know. So I'll end up spending sometimes 5, 6, 10 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours. Because the thing is that if I can solve something that's really complex that is very hard to solve, then it's easy next time. Because if I figure out why it's doing what it's doing, then that usually will make it easier in the future. So that makes sense. All right, the background's really hot. Here, let me see if I can move us over here where there's less background heat. So here's the Wi-Fi card. It's not plugged in yet. I'm trying to get us out of some reflections. I'll put it right here. Okay. Wi-Fi card's there. No reflections. Plugging it in. Nothing's happening. I don't see anything. So the current spike is all CPU and chipset and what was the last thing? EC chip, which are all part of the BIOS firmware. Highly doubtful to be firmware. Would you suggest swapping? Wait, why would swapping the battery cause a firmware fault? Exactly. Yes, it's not likely that's the firmware. It's likely that it could be an EC chip issue if the battery, I can't remember if the data and clock lines for the battery go to the EC chip or not. I think they do, but you know, it also could be a fan. I've also seen fan pins get bent over, things like that. So that fan's fine. Let's check this fan connector. Where's it at? Where you at? Fan connector. That's fine. So it could be that. You can also check to see. I didn't actually check the coils on the CPU. I don't know why I did not do that. Let's check the coils in the CPU and see how low they are, because it could be that the CPU is just shorted or something weird like that. 2 ohms. Here, I'm just going to turn off the beeping. We don't need the beeping. No beep needed here. 1.5, 2 ohms. That's not super low, but it's not super high either. 1.4. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Hey, we got a new Prime Twitch sub. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. We got. Yes, on the battery. Let's see. Dell laptop battery, the data and clock lines do go to the embedded controller. Okay, so that would make sense then. So we could just have a bad EC chip. So maybe we should just change the EC chip out, because that's going to be pretty quick to do, except if we have to reball it. Although I do have a new, because that magnetic reballing jig we've been using, I did buy a stencil that works on that. So now we can reball these really easy using that jig. So that won't be a big deal. And I actually think I have one of these already pulled off and reballed. Let's see. Is that one right here? 5107. It's not balled yet, but I have a chip. I have an EC chip right here. Brand new. Brand new, right? Oh, yeah, you guys got to concur if it's the same thing, though. So 5107, LJ. Concurrence. So let's just change that out. Let's do it. Can you say EC chip? So most people are scared to change EC chips. That's not me, man. Where I'm going, I'm not scared to change a new EC chip. All right, let's do it. Have you ever heard what happened? Have you ever heard of that happening and what the solution was that worked for them? I replaced everything. My memory junction board overheated. Huh. No, I don't know. I don't know. Thanks for donation. Yeah, it's... The thing is that whenever you have an issue like that, man, you know, it could be so many different things, so. So I don't know. All right, let's get this chip pulled off. It'll only take a few seconds here. So we're going to use our excellent smelling stuff. So this, like I said, this is thicker than his newer stuff. Is not this thick. But you see how it actually melts and goes under the chip really well. So I'm going to heat this up first, and then we'll just drop it down in there. All right, so now we'll try it again. Look how thick this is. But so now look how it operates, just like regular 559. We've got a hype train going. We only have a few more followers to go on Twitch in order to hit our 1,200 goal. So the chip is loose. We're waiting for it to be a little bit loose, like that. Once it's loose, then I'm going to let it cool off for a second. I'm going to put my tweezers right here, and then we'll come back for it. I don't really need to do a clean pull on this. This is how I do a clean pull, where I want to make sure that it's perfect. And I pull straight up. Oh my gosh, it flew out of my tweezers, but we're good to go. Let's go ahead and clean this off. If I want to do a clean pull where I transplant another one that still is already reballed, then I can just pull it straight up like that, but no need. You sent the device into Dell twice, $4,000 machine, and it's disconcerting going through so many problems. That's messed up if you had to do that. Yeah, so if you send it to me, we'll figure it out. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I fixed quite a few different machines, but if the issue showed up after you were doing something, then there's going to be something else going on. That's usually fixable if we can figure it out. Just hit the 2-hour mark. Whew. And boy, are my arms tired. So I got to work a little bit later than normal today. I tried to get to work a little bit late today because I know that I'm going to be here for 15 hours. So I was able to take my daughter to school, or both my kids actually, and then that allowed me to not have to be here for so long. And then I ate dinner right before the stream, so I have enough energy for that. Marcus, you leaving? Have a good evening. All right, let's get this cleaned up. Oh, okay. I see a couple areas where you may want to touch up the traces or the solder mask. I usually don't need to do that. I can't believe that it messed up. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit of the solder mask came off right there and came off right there. So we're going to touch that up just a little bit. And then we'll install the new chip, or we'll have to reball the chip and install it. Yeah, I hate when it does that. Hate when that happens. Just go for 4 hours. 4 hours to go. Yeah, I got 2 hours to go. Well, I can't let's see, it's 8 o'clock my time, and I like to be home by 10. So that's 2 hours. So I got like an hour and 30 minutes or hour and 40 minutes. And that will give me time to get home to tuck my kids in. Oh, the humanity. Yeah, send it in. We'll take care of it. I only work on Dells. 20-something years. It shows in my gray hair. Gosh, I hate how these tweezers I have are small here, but they're not small enough. I need to find something that's even more pointy. What do I have that's even more pointy? Let's try these tweezers. There we go. Anywhere else? Yeah, that one's okay. I'm not worried about anywhere else. Well, I guess I can do these spots. Right there. Okay. Okay. Good. All right. I'll cure that. We can chat while that's curing. It only takes a couple minutes. Oh, the magic wire. Bourbon time soon. Yes, I'm almost out of bourbon again. Why? Does that mean I drink too much bourbon? If I'm almost out of bourbon already? Not gray hair. I actually have lots of gray hair. Like, so the camera's on this side. I have less gray hair on this side, but this side is like a lot more gray. And I also have a light that kind of makes it where it doesn't seem like I have as much gray hair, but because it's a little bit orangey. And then most of my beard's gray at this point. And it's happened pretty quickly. Was it a pint? Bourbon. Have you tried ceramic tweezers? No, I have not. So I guess I need to order some of those. I keep forgetting to order things like that. Much bourbon? Not a thing. I have some gray hair since you're in 5th grade. Seriously? Like a streak or just like a spot that had just like a flare? Or did you have actually mixed in salt and pepper? Heck, I used nail clippers to remove wire insulation before. I used my nails to do it and my teeth. When I was a kid, that was my wire strippers, was my teeth for years. You grew up poor, you got to use what you can. No, I mean, was it manufacturer defect and bottles were leaking? At least you have hair. Well, I'm balding pretty bad back here. That's happening pretty fast. I still have my teeth, that's true. No quitters. Drinking too much bourbon. I have a 2-drink limit every night. Now, sometimes the drink might be a little bit bigger than others, but a 2-drink limit. Ceramic tweezers are great. They tend to be chunky, though. Because that's the thing, it's like I need something that's really fine tipped. So, all right, so that's done. So now we can do our brand new chip. Oh, I have another one over here too. I got 2 of them. Is this one already bald? Is it already bald? Has this one already been bald? No. Nah. And that's the same chip. So we have 2 brand new chips here. All right, we're going to reball this one. And so we just need to take the stuff off of that. Let me grab our stiff. I'm going to grab all my balling stuff. All right, let me get this cleaned up. So we just want to take off the rest of this solder. And so for people who don't know what I'm doing, so these are BGA chips, ball grid array, and these are going to be chips that are fastened to the board but they're fastened on a bunch of balls of solder. And so you have to, when you install a new chip or transplant a chip, you have to remove all the old solder, put on fresh solder balls that are the right thickness, and then it allows them to kind of float across there. The EC chip is the embedded controller, and so we're suspecting that the EC chip is damaged because of the way that the machine's starting up. Now it's in charge of the startup process where it turns on all sorts of different devices. It also pays attention to the power button and charges the battery, does all sorts of stuff. So if that's having an issue, then we're going to have an issue with the whole machine. In this particular machine, we don't have to worry about programming the EC chip because it is programmed by the BIOS whenever it's turned on for the first time. So we don't have to worry about doing that, which is we're lucky on this particular machine. So we're just going to remove the soda that's on here. And then we'll put fresh balls on there. The new chip is already not reballed. It's a joke that's brand new. Does that help? Brand new. So these chips are going to be pulled from donor boards, and so sometimes I'll pull off a couple extras and have them off to the side. So it's a joke that I call it brand new because if you've ever watched Soren's channel, Soren calls every single chip that he messes with brand new from his box. Soren grabs his brand new chips from his box. Nice holder. Yes, it's a nice holder. Sounds like a pickup line. Nice holder, man. Brighten this up. So we got to clean off all the sticky. We want no sticky where we're going. Where we're going, we don't need sticky. Second hand new, exactly. $811 viewers. Press that like button. Okay. All right, so here's the setup we're going to be doing. So I have my, if you've seen the other streams, we have this magnetic reballing jig. Ugh. Gosh, and they're so strong, like bull. So these are magnets, and here's some stencils. These are for different GPUs or CPUs. And then that goes on top of here and magnetizes, and then you put the chip inside this housing, and then it holds it down, and so you're able to put solder paste in there, right? But I also have it where there's one right here, and we're going to use this magnetic jig. We're going to use this piece of rubber that goes on top of here, and then we'll be able to put our chip right there, like that, and then we'll put our stencil right on top of that, and it will magnetize and hold itself in place so it's easy to actually spread the solder mask. Solder paste, thank you. But this stencil needs to be cleaned because I've used it in the past and I didn't clean it afterwards. Properly calibrated. I think this is the right stencil. Let me make sure. Okay, there's our chip. Here's the stencil in question. I guess we could just use this side if we wanted. So we just line that up like so. I'm going to put it right in this corner. So this is a little bit oversized, obviously, because I don't have the right stencil, but this was the best thing I could come up with. There we go. Like so. So I'm going to just keep using it that way. Let me add just a little bit of flux on here. Just a tad, not much. Okay. And we'll try this again. Line this up. It's trying to suck itself down on there. Ooh, look at that, it's so tight. Okay. So before, I used to have to hold this down with a pair of tweezers. It was a pain. It took me forever to reball this particular chip because it was so hard to hold it down and without moving it. So now it's just being held in place right there. And then I can just squirt in some of this. Squirt it in, rub it in. Like I can move this in any orientation I want. I'm trying not to get too much overflowing over the sides because I don't want to melt it all over the place. Okay, let's wipe that off. Let's add a little bit more. Soren is a very nice guy and very polite, 100%. That's what I really, really appreciate about him, admire about him. He's not trying to make anybody, he's not trying to talk bad about anybody. He's not trying to prove anything to anybody else. He is who he is, and he's just letting everybody else be who they are. So there we go. We got all that filled in. So it is a little overflowing. It is a little bit on areas where it doesn't need to go, but that will all work itself out momentarily. New machine. Cliff needs to ask for a new OEM charger and battery. Yeah. But he says he has the battery at home, I think. I mean, the charger at home. Here, I'm going to wipe this off, the excess. Oh, that was a bad idea. I usually use my finger. Get that stuff out of there. Okay. All right, so watch this. So we're going to do 3, or we're going to do, let's see what I usually do. I usually do 300 at like 30%, 25% air. Like that. You forgot to scratch an X on the old chip. Thank you. So here's the old chip. Let's do that while I remember. I appreciate you saying that. There we go. So now I will never misunderstand or mess up with that one. Okay. All right, so we're just gonna do, like I said, it's 300 degrees, 29% air, something like that. So I'm just gonna kind of heat this area over here. And once I get this kind of heated up, then I'll come in a little closer. I usually just kind of hit the corner and it does it just fine. And then there it goes. There it goes. It's like magic. And there we go. It's reballed. And while it's warm, take this off. Okay, we'll go this way now. There we go. All right, so we obviously have balls where they don't go. You know I love saying balls. We obviously have balls where they don't go. And so all I'm going to do is kind of scratch out as many as I can here. Let me move this to my other jig, actually. Move this back over here. Okay, so now we just need to get rid of these extra balls. And so usually I can find them because they are a little bit different color. So I just kind of pick them up. They're like shinier or different like that. I just pick them up with my tweezers like this. Just grab them out of here. So this area was not populated, but the stencil I was using was not set up like that. It just had balls everywhere. So we're just going to try to pick that up. You see how this one's a little shinier than the other ones? So that's a fake one. Fake ball. I can't see the chat, guys. I'm just kind of, I wish I had heads-up display in here. I've said that before. Okay, get those out of here. So again, you can see that these are shinier. I don't know if you can tell, but those, they're also not straight, but these right here are shinier. So those are fake. Then we have these on the edge. Those need to go. Those need to go. And that all looks good. So now we're going to reflow it one more time just to make sure everything's set perfectly. I'm still at low air pressure because low air speed because I don't need much. And we're just going to reflow this a little. Get that guy out of here. Get away from there. Okay. There we go. Look at those. Ooh. Look at them center themselves. There we go. Brand new. Like I said, it's brand new. Those are brand new. So, that was a lot quicker. I've done this exact chip on a string before, and it took us forever because I kept having issues where it kept slipping off. The stencil I was using before was non-magnetic. Probala. That was Probala, y'all. Yeah, so equipment has a lot to do with it, obviously. Using this magnetic base, I love them. And so I'm ordering more and more. The only problem I have is like getting these stencils every single time. You have to kind of like sometimes you buy the stencil and then you have to buy the insert here, and then there's a different base. So I have two different bases here. This one has the tabs in the corner. This one has the tabs in the side. And so like this one doesn't work on this one because the pins are in the corner. So each one's a little different. So you end up spending kind of quite a bit of money overall, like buying all these different versions, but I think it's worth it. All right, let's put this away. You bought one like me. Okay, got that put away. I'm gonna clean this chip up. I hate a dirty counter here. I'm just like, okay, let's put this stuff away. So now we're just gonna kind of clean the extra stuff off of here and make it look absolutely brand new. Because I could bag this up, you wouldn't even know it was used. You can put a piece of tempered glass and hold it down the stencil using tweezers. Huh. Fake batteries, fake chargers, fake solder. Well, fake it all. Yeah, it's funny. Someone asked what kind of solder I use. Solder wire. I've had this roll of solder wire, I don't know, 15 years. It's like, whatever, 1 pound. I don't know. It lasts forever. So, and the labels tore, so I was like trying to figure out which one it was. But I figured it out. All right, let's get this installed now. So I want to put a little bit of flux down before we install this new one. I wonder if this is going to work. It would be too easy. So I'm going to add just a little bit of flux here. There we go. It's funny how this flux makes with the polarization filter on, makes it kind of change its look. And then we're going to put our brand new EC chip on here. All right, so Dell's so awesome because they put a Pen 1 on the board right there. There's our Pen 1, and then Dell also puts an outline. Love it. Love it. It's not really Dell, it's Compal, but actually this is a Winstron board. ODM made it. Yeah, it's Kester solder is what I use. Because I've had for years. I actually have a couple different rolls of Kester, and that's the one I settled on, but I mean, I can use any of them, I guess. It doesn't really, I'm not too picky. All right, so I'm going to hold this down in place. I'm not applying pressure. I just don't want it to blow away. And I'll be using 450, 600, or 60% air at 450, but I'm going to kind of start high up. And all I'm trying to do is tack this thing on the board. So once it kind of holds itself in place, then I'm going to move away. So we're going to wait for it to kind of set itself down. So now I'm going to move away for a second, let it cool off, and I'm going to see if it's stuck. It is stuck. So now I can come back in with more air, moss air. And there you go. Did you see it kind of sit itself down? And now that it's sat, I'm going to add just a little bit more flux to it. There we go. And this will seat it all the way. There we go. Do you see it move? Ooh, that looked good. That's so satisfying. And we'll just do a little tappy tap. And it's home. There you go. New EC chip installed. Poll time. Is it going to work? I don't know. Let's do a poll. Will it work? Will it work? I don't know. I don't know what I would vote, actually. But it seems logical. That's why I did it. Pro champ. All right, so we have a poll up there, guys. I'm going to go ahead and vote on the poll. I'm going to vote. I'm not going to tell you what I voted, actually. So we will see. So let's get the poll pulled up for you. Poll pulled up. There you go. So there's our poll going. Twitch, it's up at the top. It's kind of hidden. Got to press it, and it comes down, and you vote on it. And I'll clean up this mess while we're at it. Where's my... Beautiful replacement. Now, will it work? Or will it be a Frisbee? Well, see, the thing is about this, again, like someone asked, like, how long will I give up, you know? So, like, I've spent a while on this already. And, of course, I spend longer whenever I'm on a live stream because I'm sitting there talking and I'm speaking, you know, explaining different things. But a lot of times, I'm going to keep going on this. I would just keep going and be like, okay, well, let's change this out. Let's change that out. Why is, you know, this symptom, you know, you have a symptom. I have a symptom that's happening. What could cause this symptom? And you try the different things. And what's the point of the wax paper? This isn't wax paper. It is a chem pad. And so what I do is I rub alcohol on here like this, and that kind of takes the flux and kind of spreads it around the board more or less. And then when you put the chem pad down and you rub it through it, it picks it up and takes it away. Otherwise, you're just kind of smearing the flux all over the board. So the idea is to try to get the board as clean as possible. So I just kind of alternate back and forth between that, and it picks up most of it. So I think we already had all the power rails, so which is why you have doubts. Yeah, but the thing is that the EC chip and the PCH or chipset were both kind of spiking on momentarily, and so it could be part of the startup phase. And the fact that they changed the battery out whenever they stopped working, that's what points to this, because the data and clock lines from the battery are directly tied to the ZC chip. And so that's why it would make sense, because you have to think about more than just be like the symptom, right? You got to think about what's the possible cause, right? So did the customer cause it? You know, was it a cause and effect situation? So. All right, so right now we have 59% on Twitch and 63% on YouTube. So we have 17 voters on Twitch out of our 63 people on Twitch. I usually like to get up to about half of my viewers voting. So we're at 180 on YouTube. We have 871 people on YouTube. So don't forget to vote. I know a lot of people watch on TV, so I'm not really concerned about it being 100%, obviously, but if it doesn't work, swap the CPU. I love it. They say it's only heating up on the edge too. Well, I have a hard time concurring with that because the thermal camera that I have has two, camera feeds basically that has to overlay it, and so sometimes they don't line up. I'm also curious about why the battery replacement. Yeah, that's true. Why the battery replacement? Here, let's read. Y'all are still voting. Let's read this. I did not read it. Let me make sure there's no personal information here. We never even read this part. So it said, I tried to install a new battery I ordered from your company. However, now the laptop will not power on. I put the old battery back in thinking the computer would power back up, but since then it's not working fine prior to me charging the battery. However, it was working fine prior to me changing the battery. However, it will not power on at all. The reason I thought it was the battery needed to be replaced to begin with because the laptop no longer holds a charge. No longer holds a charge. Had to stay plugged in all the time to function. The laptop battery being replaced. Okay. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. All right, crunching some numbers in my head here. All right. this may or may not be the issue then, based on that. So what I just kind of like, I don't know. So I've seen this in the past. So when you unplug the battery, smoke came from my ears. When you unplug the battery and you unplug the power from a machine, what does it do? It resets the BIOS, right? So it's clearing the CMOS, it's clearing the EC chip. And when you plug in the laptop for the first time, it should start up, do a whole startup process, and it rewrites the EC chip. The BIOS reprograms it, and it starts up everything. Now, let's say that the battery is having an issue, said it wasn't running or wasn't charging the battery or wasn't running out the battery. Let's just say the laptop was working off the charger exclusively with the battery plugged in. Let's just say that. Let's just say that it needed the battery plugged in order for the laptop to function. But once the battery was unplugged, it kind of reset everything, but no longer could renegotiate its connection with the battery after that to verify that it is a functioning battery or whatever it is, and that the machine would no longer turn on. So anyway, my whole point is that maybe there's a data line missing, or a pull-up or a high voltage line, not a high voltage, but a pull-up resistor basically, that is missing now that the battery was unplugged and it couldn't renegotiate or start the whole laptop through, it couldn't get through the the CMOS reset, if that makes sense. So anyway, I don't know. But our votes are in. I'm going to stop the poll here. We got 65%, 62% think that it is a success. Right? Will it work? Yes. So, will it work? So we're going to do this we're going to go thermal. We're going thermal. So we're going to go thermal. We're going to put our chipset in the view. We have our CPU, GPU, and chipset in the view. And so what we want is it to start heating up and pulling a lot more current than it is. So ready? We're going to do it. 3, 2, 1. Is it going to jump up and do the same thing? Did the exact same thing. No, now it's pointing at, wait, 0.6? Wait. Now it's sitting at 0.6. It wasn't doing that before. Oh, the CPU's on. Look, all the coils are on. Did you see that? All these coils are on. That's why it's hot right there. I think we have it. I think we have liftoff. Although this CPU gets really hot really fast, and so I'm going to have to put a heatsink on it. So let me screw a heatsink on it. We don't need to reprogram the EC chip because the BIOS will reprogram it for us. It's very nice like that. It's alive. I told you it was the Wi-Fi card. Oh, I told you it was the Wi-Fi card. I told you it was the crystal oscillator in the Wi-Fi card. And will we have picture? So if we have picture, you guys need to put the Soren meme up there, or Soren emote, because I have a Soren emote for picture. We have picture, but we have to have picture first. Repaste is. I'm not repasting anything. What are you talking about? No, we're just testing real quick. We're going quick because we need to get to our third laptop if this is going to work. If this is a go for launch. Whenever batteries are involved, 99% is the EC chip. Except whenever someone thinks it's not the EC chip. Except when it's the Wi-Fi card. I told you the data clock goes to the EC chip. Premise was on the case. He was on the case. Thank you. I needed that. I needed that confidence. Now, I know Soren the other day, he was like, he didn't want to replace an EC chip, but he has a pain whenever he has to replace them because a lot of those have to be programmed. And If it has to be programmed and you don't have the program, and you're working on all sorts of different machines, because I'm only working on the same, you know, whatever, 30, 50 machines. But he has to work on all sorts of different crazy stuff, so I don't really fault him for that. All right. I want to put enough screws in here so it doesn't flop out of here, because I've had that happen. Can non-subscribers use that emote? Huh, that's a good question. Level 1, I don't know. Premise, do you know that answer? Oh yeah, if you, oh that's right. I think on YouTube you have to be a subscriber to the channel, or a member. That's right, I think it is like that. All right, so sorry, I guess you can't, but I guess you can just write "we have picture." All right. Okay, we don't need a battery. We're just gonna do this. So we don't have to reprogram this because the EC chip will be programmed by the BIOS, because it's very nice. Okay, 3, 2, 1. We got a tier 1 sub. Thank you. 0.8. We'll take a second here to get through our EC, our CMOS reset. So it's staying on at 0.8. So unless we have a short somewhere. We didn't check to see if the EC chip was shorted. Maybe that's our short. Oh, RAM. Yeah. You guys are so smart. Oh, I have RAM in there. Well, then I have to start over. Here, we'll do it this way. 0.01, 0.05, 0.03, exactly the right cycle. And there we go, 1 amp, 0.8. Yeah, that's looking good. It's definitely doing more than it was doing before. So we won't have to boot due to the Wi-Fi card. Yeah, the Wi-Fi card is, with that dent there, I don't know if the machine will go as fast. I don't like that it's hanging at 0.8 though. It should be hanging. It should be moving around a little bit more in this. Soren's channel is called Electronic Repair School, I think. Electronic Repair School. Yeah, he's from like Transylvania or Romania. I'll do some SMC reballs for you. I'm a baller. Okay, so this is sitting at 0.8, so it's not good. It's bad. Should be doing something more than that. Do you think it messed up the BIOS too? Do you think it scrambled the BIOS? Does the battery need to be installed? No, it doesn't. But that's a good thing to test to see if it will charge the battery at least. We could have some other stuff happening here. Okay, battery's plugged in. Let's see if it starts charging the battery. 0.8, and it should negotiate up a little higher. Why is it, what's pulling 0.8? I mean, I guess we saw the CPU coils on, right? So it should be the CPU. Are we frozen? We don't have picture. Where's the short? 0.84. I'm going to hold down the power button and see if it shuts back off. See if it's listening to the power button. Reprogram the BIOS. I mean, I may do that, but again, it's weird to have this whole thing. Actually, here, let me plug fans in because I don't have any fans plugged in. Let's see if the fans are going. Because the fans are controlled by the EC chip also. I can feel the CPU's, or the heatsink's hot, which is what we wanted. So I have RAM. CPU's on the motherboard, so I can't take that out. The CPU's hot. I know it's still the Wi-Fi card. Maybe a short on the coil. We haven't found it a short anywhere yet. We looked everywhere for a short. The fans will drop power. Look at that. Hold on. We have an issue. So 3, 2, 1, plug it in. 0.8 immediately. We have a short somewhere. The floppy controller. I don't know. I'm going to take the heatsink back off. Wait, the battery plug. Oh. It's not because of anything particular. The machine's still on because I had the battery plugged in. So the machine's on right now. But it doesn't have a front power light. And that's why whenever I plug it in, it goes straight to 0.8 because it's still on. I'm going to hold down the power button again. I want to see if it shuts off. It's not shutting off. Okay, I'm going to unplug the battery. Unplug the power. I'm going to try to go into BIOS recovery and see if it does anything different. So I'm going to hold down the control and escape. And we'll press that. Sometimes it'll boot up a little differently. 0.05, 0.03, 0.05, 0.03, 1 amp, and then 0.86 again. It should be doing something different. What laptop is this? It's on the bottom of it's on the screen there. It's an XPS 9700. It doesn't work after a new battery was installed. Still saying to put original chip back in Soren's box. Should I mail this chip to Soren? Brand new. I can't believe it's turning off and on. It's strange. All right, let's pull the board out. Let's go thermal because I want to figure out what else is pulling that. You have a Precision 5530, says PCI warning. PCI warning. Oh, that's right. I don't diagnose repairs when I'm repairing a laptop, so you're going to have to ask the forum for that, but I can't think of why it would say that. Don't do it. The BIOS I mean, we could flash the BIOS real fast. I don't care. We can do a vote on that if we wanted to. Takes me a couple minutes to vote. I think I have one already made, so I can just stick it on there. Boom, nailed it. We could see if there's any. We can pull out the oscilloscope and see if the signals are being pulled from the BIOS or what. Because it's weird. It's like 0.6 or wait, it went down, came back up. Wait, now it's back to doing the same thing? What? Now it's back to doing the same thing. We didn't fix anything. I can't believe. How's that possible? Doesn't even make sense. Do you still think it's a BIOS? It can't be the EC chip because we just did that. Who thinks it's the BIOS? I mean, all the power rails are there. Who thinks it's the power management chip? Because the power management chip all measured fine, but we could change the power management chip out because we have tons of those, and that would be easy too. Are we thinking BIOS? Try writing exclamation point Discord. I think I fixed that. Who's asking for the Discord link? Because I think I fixed it where anybody can write it now. Should I flash the BIOS? So vote if I should flash the BIOS. Yeah, the PMIC was, the power management chip was receiving its 20 volts. It's actually creating the main power rail also. So if I come over here, so this machine takes 20 volts in and then produces 13.5 volts, I think. So let me show you that. And so it's producing the right voltage. It has the 3 volts, 3.3, the 5 volt, the 1 volt on the chipsets there. All the voltages are there. So that usually points to a BIOS issue. But then we were like, why would the BIOS be corrupted? So, okay, I'm going to go thermal again. Okay, plugged in. No, it's staying on again. Okay, so CPU's on. Is the GPU on? So CPU on, you can see it right there. It's hot. You see all the cores are on? All the cores are on. So staying at 0.66, and I guess it was 0.8 when we had the screen plugged in, things like that. Let's see if the EC chip is getting like crazy hot or something like that. EC chip's not crazy hot, so we did a marvelous job installing that. But this is not hot enough to do anything. So Telegram's better than Discord for repairs. Okay, well I don't have a Discord server. JFix's Discord server. I don't have time to deal with Discord, so anybody wants to set up a Telegram server or something? I don't know. I don't have time for that. Okay, so we got votes going. I didn't pull up the votes here. So it said, should we reflash the BIOS, the BIOS? And we're looking at 100% of the people on Twitch say to do it. Anybody else on Twitch we only have 6 people voting, so I guess that's all in favor? Aye. Did you supply a bad battery? No, well, this is their battery and the other battery. This thing doesn't need a battery. But these batteries are brand new from Dell. I've sold tons of them. So brand new, literally brand new. The manufacture date was even recent, yeah, 2024, late 2024. So yeah, it wouldn't be a battery issue. Now, you're saying the battery caused it? I mean, the thing is that if you ever looked at one of these connectors, look at how this thing works. This thing plugs in all crazy. So this is the battery connector, which I guess we did not look at. What does that WinBond chip go to? But the battery connector is this, and then it has this, and so this is the customer's stock one, and so the data and clocks are going to be some of the middle ones, and then the negative and positive are going to be on either end there. So it kind of plugs in like that, but it's hard to plug in straight, so sometimes you can plug it in sideways and kind of mess up the connections here. So that's the only thing we could think of it if something like that happened. But we don't see anything else going on, any burnt stuff. I didn't do the smell test on this. Did you install a bad EC chip? Well, you know, if you think about it, it's doing something more than it was doing before, so I would say that's good, but I mean, I guess I could have installed a non-brand new EC chip. Let's plug back in again. Did you check the RAM? I did not check the RAM, actually. So let's check the RAM. Let's take his RAM out. I love when people have real things to contribute. So we'll try test stick of RAM. This takes DDR4. There we go. DDR4 is installed. Let me mark it. I have it marked. This is my test RAM. There we go, so I don't get it mixed up. All right, plugging it back in with my test RAM installed. 0.6 still, nothing more, never more, never more. CPU on, CPU on, you can see all the cores on. And the GPU, I can't tell if the GPU is on or not. It doesn't, maybe a little warm. Yeah, it's a little bit warm. Chipset doesn't seem very hot, but it's on. But the CPU should, I can tell you right now, it should be getting way hotter than that. What did I say over 30 minutes ago? Oh, the flash to BIOS. Where's the BIOS on this board? It's right here. There's the EC chip and the BIOS chips. Oh, sorry, we'll do it this way. There's the EC chip, and here's our BIOS chip right here. So I think we're at 78%, 93%. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and flash the BIOS, get it dealt with. Who's never flashed a BIOS before? No, that can't be. All right, so we're going to start out with reading the BIOS. This is only a 256, right? Yeah, so this is a 25L25673G. And we're going to use our pogo pen. I'm going to have to use one of my blue ones because my other one busted and doesn't work anymore. So I'm going to use one of these pogo pen readers where you just kind of press the pins in here. If you haven't seen them, I have a link inside the video description on where I get these. And then we'll use my T48 thingy here, chip reader, the link inside the video description. And gosh, where's pin 1? Okay, so I got to put it in the reader here. All right, pin 1 set up. So I just need to line this up perfectly. Perfect. So I mark on my reader what pin 1 is. The dot's pin 1, so I'm just going to line this up like so, like that, and then lean it over. There you go. And now I switch views for you. Let's go to this. Here, I'll take those off. You don't need to have that on there. Okay, what are we looking for? Okay, so we're going to do an auto here. I just wanted to see if we can detect it. We are detecting it. It was a, shoot, what was it? 25673G? Is that right? Is it this one? I think it's that one. Yeah, G, okay. So I'm gonna select that, I'm gonna read it. Yeah, so I have to flash a lot of BIOSes all the time to fix them. The corruption is every Wednesday, or every other Wednesday. We get BIOS corruptions out the wazoo. Do you know why? Because every Tuesday, every other Tuesday, is when Windows updates go out. And so every Wednesday morning, I get all these phone calls saying their laptops don't turn on. Isn't that crazy? All right, so let me save this. We're just going to back this up. So we always make a copy of the customer's original. And this is, do their ticket number. And this is an XPS 9700. And then I always put original on here just so I know it's the customer's original. There we go. All right, so now the question is, do I already have one made? Because that'd be fun. That'd be nice. Let's see, here's one. RIP working. So that's a working one, but I don't know if it's cleaned yet. All right, so we'll have to try that one maybe. Actually, let's see if it's actually clean yet. So clean meaning like you can put it on another board. It has to be set up a certain way. And let's see, ME tools. So we have to check it in our analyzer. And so I'm just going to drop it in here. And if we check it, what we want to look for inside our ME analyzer is that this says configured, but it says initialized. This means that this is a RIP from a working board, but I haven't cleaned the ME region yet. So what does that mean? Run Linux to avoid BIOS corruption. Yes, you can run Linux, but you can also turn off capsule updates inside the BIOS. So if you go to the BIOS, you could check a box that's called capsule updates, and it will turn that off completely. So you don't even have to worry about it. So anyway, we have to clean the ME on this, so let's do that real quick. So this is a 14.1 version. We need to go to 14.0 for our fits tool. So we need to do that, ME tools. So we're going to go 14.0. We're going to open the fit tool. You got to delete out any other ones I've opened in the past. We're going to open our fit tool up. And we will drop it in here. And I want to save this the settings before I mess with the files. So what I'm doing, this program right here is decomposing it. It's taking that one file and breaking it into all of its parameters, or separate parameters. And I'm just going to name this 9700 because that's what we're working on. And this is just temporarily. Now I can close this. And so if I go back out, I can see that now it created a folder that broke that into pieces. Okay, so we have a BIOS region, we have this CE region, we have our ME region. This is the ME region is what we're really focused on getting changed because this is what is tied to the board that's installed on. So we want to have this one updated. So the way we're going to get a new ME region and a new BIOS region is we could look up and see what it is and just copy. But what I usually do is I will take a BIOS from Dell's website and extract it into its components. And I don't have one, so we're going to have to go get one. So let's go get one off of Dell's website. So 9700. Is everyone with me so far? I know I'm going a little fast, but hopefully you understand. So here's our 9700 BIOS. And what we want to download is going to be this other format. It's an RCV file. So this is going to be the recovery file. We're going to download that instead of just the regular exe that you'd run in Windows. And when we have that downloaded, I want to rename it to be the same as the same nomenclature here. Oop, I don't want to open that. And we're going to rename that to the name of the file. We're going to cut this, and we're going to move it into our BIOS downloads, which is where these are all the different BIOSes that I've downloaded. And I want to copy the exact name here, and then we're going to use our terminal and use our extracting tools. And I think it's going to be this one right here, Dell PSF extract. You can search on Google for that. Don't ask me for it. And we'll use that. Now it extracted it. So now that it extracted it, we should have a folder here, right here, that has that BIOS file extracted into all of its different regions. And what we are concerned with is the BIOS region and the ME region. So we're going to take both of those and copy those. Copy. And then we're going to go back over to our, I can't see the chat. Let me get back to the chat here. Okay. We're going to go back over to our decomposed folder, and we're going to paste them in here. Okay, so now we have our BIOS region and our EC region in here, and we are going to replace these. So I'm going to copy the name of that. I'm going to just gibberish it out, and then we're going to replace the name here because this is the BIOS region. Yep. I'm going to paste that in there. Okay, and then now we're going to go down to our ME region, this one. Copy, gibberish, paste. There we go. And then now we just need to delete both of these gibberishes. We don't need them. So now we have our new ME region, our new BIOS region. This is making a completely clean BIOS. Now this isn't removing the service tag or anything like that. That's a separate process, but this will at least make it where you can put this on any motherboard and it will work. Okay, so now we can go back out and come over, and we're going to reopen our FIT program, and we're going to open the file we saved as, why did it parse? Why did we have parse region error? Decompose region, data unable. Huh. Why did we have a region error? Okay, let me close this. Let's see what it did. So it creates a separate folder there. What did it not like? What did we do wrong in that one? Did anyone see me copy something weird? I don't think I did anything weird. 9700 firmware. So I copied both of these. This is a 10 meg file and a 16 meg file, right? 10 meg file and 16 meg file. 10 meg file, 16 meg. I think I copied all the right stuff. Yeah, head exploding here. Why did it do that? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. So we have our ME analyzer set up here. So I'm going to see if I could just put something that's closer, because I may be so far on the ME regions out of what we just did. So let's see if we can find an ME region that's that model that's closer and just inject it in there without doing a full one from our brand new BIOS. Control Z, I don't think will work. Oh, maybe it will. Yeah. Control Z should work. Yeah, let's do that. Well, see, the thing is I've already opened Fit, so I'm going to restart. It will just take a second, but let me see if I have this one, 14.1.75. So we're going to go into our repository. So I have a repository here, and 14.175, 14.1, and then we need 7.5. I only have 7.4. 0.23. So here's what you do to find this. You just got to copy this and search on the interwebs for it. Teaching you guys the FIS here. So we should come up the WinRAID or station driver. We'll go to station drivers. And you're going to hit download right there. And then now you'll have it. You guys learning yet? This is how you fish. And I'm not paying attention to chat very well because I'm doing multitasking here, but oh. Well, that's taking forever to download, isn't it? Okay, so now we can copy that out of, or let's open it, let's see what's in here. All right, so we have both of these. So we're going to take both of those and move those into our repository, wherever that is. There. So yeah, I hate when they name it like this. See how it's not named properly? Oh, wait, I had a 74233. Darn it. So, oh, 7.5. Okay. So it's not naming these properly. So in order to make sure we have them named properly, I'm going to open ME Analyzer again, and I'm going to drop it in there. So I'm going to drop this one in there. And then when I run it itself, it comes up as that name. So I'm going to copy that name. Oops. And I'm going to name it on here, that. So we make sure that we are on the same page. All right. And we'll do the same thing with this other one. Because that's what they should do. That's the proper thing to do. Copy that. Okay, so now we have our ME regions. We can come back over here, like you're saying. Actually, I'm going to delete this and we'll start over. It will just take a minute. Not that one. Decompose. And this may or may not work. I don't know. We may just have to put the one on there we have or go get one from Bad Caps. So I'm going to delete those. We are going to open Fits again. Drop this in here. You have to turn this off. I can't see chat, by the way, guys. I'm sorry. I feel so bad whenever I'm not reading chat. I'm just kind of babbling on without looking. Let's update that. Okay, so now we should have our folder again. All right, so now we're just going to replace the ME region only. That's all we're replacing on this one, now that we have it. So we're going to take this one, it should be this one right here, and we'll put that in there. Rename, copy, paste, boom, delete that one out of there. Reopen Fits. All right, so is this going to work? Open 9700, still throwing an error. I don't know why it's throwing that error at all. Let's just flash this BIOS on there because it's not working. All that process for nothing, guys. All that process for nothing. So, but let's just flash this on here. All right, let me look at the chat real quick, though, and see how you guys are doing. How are you guys hanging up, holding up? A whole monitor would replace... Proper. All right, let's just flash this on here, and then I will give up and throw this thing across the room. Yeah. If someone can find one on Bad Caps, then we can be done with this. So let's redetect this. Detect. Okay. Now this one theoretically shouldn't work because it's hooked up or set up for another machine, but we should see if it does something different. So that will at least tell us something, right? Oh, it says CSE errors. You're right. It does say that. But I've seen that tons of times, and I don't know how to fix that error whenever it happens. Can you check this precision 5530? You want me to stop and do that right now? Daryl, thank you, buddy. 10 a.m. easy way to start the day. Faulty BIOS chip? I don't think so. We've had one bad BIOS chip over the years, or on one of these streams, and it was always failed like right towards the end of the write. 15 hours to go. Call it a day. Bourbon time, Nate. Did you say 15 hours? It's more like 35 minutes, 40 minutes to go. So the SOIC test adapter chip clips are better than pogo pens. No need to hold it. Well, how does that clip on here? I've never seen one of those. Can you send Chuck? I would love to see what you're talking about. I see that you posted that a couple times. I would love to see what you're talking about. Nate, sometimes you imagine that X17R2 replaced the screen. It starts to flash white and black. Reboot sometimes fixes it. Interesting. And well, you had that kind of issue before, didn't you? Before we replaced your screen, Montgomery? I thought we had some sort of white and black screen issue. You have to send it back. We can talk on the phone first, yeah. Three hours later. This is taking forever to erase, isn't it? Yeah, if I didn't have to hold this, that would be great. So I would love to know what you're talking about. Yeah, yes, give me the part number. You see this person right here? You keep asking about this machine. You see this? I see your message, but the thing is I'm fixing a computer right now. I can't fix your computer while I'm fixing a computer. Do you understand that? It's hard to multitask already. Why can't you download the BIOS directly? Because the image is not the BIOS. It's a collection of files. So that's why. Google SOT 8-pin clip dip adapter. Okay, let me try that real quick. I want to see this clip. I got to see this clip. I want to see this clip. Wait. Why didn't it copy that? I can't copy this? What? You're not going to let me copy that, really. Okay, so what do I need to type? So SOIC 8-pin. SOIC 8-pin. Is my keyboard not working? That's what's going on here. My keyboard's not working. It's like, wait a minute. There it goes. All right, let's try this again. There we go. Okay, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Are you talking about one of these? Oh, this one. So this is the same thing as the pogo pen, but it has the long little pin? No, I've seen these. These suck. I mean, is this one better than the other ones? Because I've had these clips sucked. I don't know. But I mean, maybe they've innovated, wait, whatever I'm trying to say. Gotten better. See, because these are mainly for SOICs, but not for these chips. You can't stick that on this. Like, how in the heck can you clip that on here? Yeah, pogo pens are way easier for this. Now, if I was doing like the other chip, wherever it is, I don't have any on here, but yeah, if I was doing one of these, like this, then that will work on that, no problem. Because I used to have, I have some of those for that. That one right here. Well, I don't want to dig it up. But I gave up on those and started lighting them on fire because it made me so mad. So the pogo pen's actually very easy. Okay, we wrote this BIOS. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know what it's going to do, if it's going to do anything different. We should probably do it under the thermal. All right. Ready to plug it in? You guys ready? Here we go. Plugged in 03, 05, 0.6, 0.3, 1.4. Oh, it's actually working. It was both. It was a combination. I can't believe. I can't believe. It was both. How can it be both? That's cray. That's crazy. Did you guys see that thing start turning on? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we're still not doing the thermal paste. Just in time for us to just do a let's chat. Although we could look at the last one for a second without doing it because it's going to be a pain. The last one's like the blown up MOSFETs, so we can at least look at it. That's crazy. Do we have picture? Do we have picture? I don't know yet. But, I mean, the EC chip definitely was bad because after we changed the EC chip, it actually was doing something better than it was, right? So do you think we had a crazy surge? Do you think it would? No, it would still be on. Do you think he unplugged the memory while it was in sleep mode? Just like looking at it? You know how people like shut the lid and they think the machine's off? And do you think he like was shut it down and then he was like, oh, I'm gonna change my battery out. And then he was like, hey, what kind of memory do I have? Without taking the battery out, and then took the battery out, I mean the memory out, and then put the memory back in, and then was like, oh, I got that much memory, huh? And then, I don't know. Gritty, thank you, buddy. I don't know. So we're probably got to do a BIOS recovery after this because we don't have the right BIOS. This isn't an ME, clean ME, so we may end up getting like a 3.6 error or something like that. Or it could just turn on and work. I can't believe. So remember, this BIOS is not clean. It's dirty. It's a dirty BIOS. But it is powering on like it's going to work. So keyboard, screen. I haven't heard of someone say Northridge forever. I know today we've been neglecting the Northridge today. All right, time to have some Northridge talk. Let's see, what do we have to say today? I could say that Black Horse's new flux is better than the NF dot flux. It's Black Horse dot flux. That's what we have. Yeah, I don't know. Has he put any videos out lately? I haven't really paid attention. I can't believe. Just say no, the North Bridge. Hasn't gotten ready for asking people of lives today. I want to see him do a live repair. You guys should go over there. Everyone, that's what we should do, is have everybody on this stream go over to one of his videos and pressure him into doing a live repair stream to see if he can actually repair something live. That would be a good experiment. Everyone, go now. I sick 800 people on them. Okay. I can't believe. Come on. Here, we'll put it like this so you guys can see the screen nice and good. All right, plugging in the power in 3, 2, 1. Power 0.05, 0.03, 0.05. And should jump up. And we have picture! I saved another laptop! Now, would this have been a no fix in general at your, so people who do repairs, would you have put a no fix on this early on because of how much work we had to go through? It's still going through a CMOS reset, so it should turn on and off. It should take a second here. Great job. Thank you so much. We're probably going to get a BIOS error, I bet. Bad ME region. Yeah, we should have a ME region issue. So we're going to have to do a BIOS recovery on it, I bet. But it is sitting here. I'm going to see how long it sits here like this. I shout and it turns off. It's still sitting here at 1.5 amps. I don't have the battery plugged in. All right, let's do a BIOS recovery on it then. Let's get a BIOS recovery stick ready to go. We'll see if we can get past the ME region issue with the BIOS recovery. Yeah, $250 for a cakewalk. That's right. All right, so now we're going to go back to Dell's site since we have it already pulled up, very conveniently pulled up. So we're going to download this BIOS recovery file again because I love downloading it multiple times and using up all the bandwidth. And then we're going to move that onto a blank flash drive. A blank except for that hidden file that's on there, that Windows puts on there. And eject that. Now we'll go back. Hey, the Dell screen came back up again. Hey, wait, y'all are missing it. Look. It's in display test mode. Use the ME switch. Oh yeah, should we switch MEs with the ME switch? Where's that ME switch at? Hold on. Wait, the Dell screen came back up. I haven't done anything. I'm not even touching this thing. It's just, it's possessed. But we do have our new BIOS recovery on here, and I'm going to plug it into one of these slots. Nothing shut off again. I don't know if it's going to do anything right. Now it's at 0.06 amperes, and it shut off, came back on, 1.6 amps. I don't know. Maybe it's going to do it. It's an alien. It's possessed. I want to use the ME switch for something. All right, it's not really working. So I'm going to plug our, so I have that BIOS recovery file on here. It's named whatever it is, image.bios or _BIOS. And what I like about this USB stick I have, it has a light on it, so it shows me if it's actually reading it. And that's very crucial for doing these BIOS recoveries. So I'm going to unplug this darn thing. Now, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but you can see my stick here. I'm going to hold down Control and Escape, and we'll see if we can get into BIOS recovery and see if it reads that. So it came on, it blinked once. Now it's solid, it's blinking slow. When it blinks fast, it means it's actually going to read off of it. Let's see if it's going to do it. So see if it starts blinking fast. Yeah, when it did the screen flash, there's actually display test diagnostics, which usually will work without the machine having anything, like it doesn't even need RAM in the laptop to do that display test. Oh, well, it's still sitting there thinking. I don't think this BIOS is a good BIOS because it doesn't have that ME region, but that just means I'll have to get another BIOS. I have stacks of boards here. I mean, we could pull another BIOS of another board and then try rebuilding it. I don't know why the other one was not working. So chat not working on the screen? No, it's working. Seems strange that we're not seeing chat from my running list of right. Huh, running on the main screen. Interesting. I don't know. I don't know. Wrong file name. This is the right file name because it would actually give us an error. I don't know if we can look here. We should get a blink code. If it's not even giving us the 3.6 BIOS error. We could take the RAM out and see if it does anything different. Have we tried downloading some more RAM? Yeah, I don't have fast enough internet to download RAM. We had picture. This is crazy. Okay, it's not working. I broke another laptop. All right, let's try it with battery only now. Just for fun. Just for giggles. So we're going to put the customer's original battery back in and short the EC chip all over again. Windows Update formatted everything. You have to have this in, you have to have a battery in there anyway to do BIOS recovery, so that's why I'm going to add it in there. And we might get battery charge current too while we're at it. Huh. It's thinking. 1.3 gigawatts. Keyboard backlight's on. Definitely wants to come on. Okay, should we try the switch? Where's that ME switch at when we need it? Because the battery didn't change anything. Where's our ME switch? Right. That was on this edge. Where's that battery ME switch? Where's the pesky ME switch? Up. The ME switch is right there. It's underneath the keyboard connector. Okay, ME switch is being held over. When I switched it, the machine started pulling 0.3. Okay, now what? Now it's booting back up. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna hold the power. I'm gonna hold that switch over while I plug in the power. See what that does. It's starting. I don't know. Yeah, 0.03. This is erasing, flash erasing. 1.3. So now we're not even getting the screen anymore. The fans have never come on the whole time. Forget to put the memory back in. I have my memory stick in there. And we got the Dell screen, for God's sake. Yeah, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna plug the keyboard back, or the keyboard light or keyboard back in, which is the front light. I'm gonna unplug the RAM, and let's see if we get a 2.3. We should get a 2.3 error here with no RAM in there. Oh, power's still connected. Yeah, I unplug the power when I'm doing stuff here. Please pull the power cable. What did I just do? Did I leave the power cable plugged in when I just did that? I thought I unplugged it. So I took the RAM out, so we'll see what's going to happen here. I guess it's a power steering issue, but I don't hear the whining noise, because normally you hear a whining noise when it's a power steering issue. Wow. I can't believe we don't have picture anymore. Oh, I don't know, man. I think it's a BIOS issue still now, because we were actually getting a screen. It's actually powering up. So do you want me to just get another BIOS, or should we do another BIOS? I don't know. Or should we go? I mean, I don't mind doing that. I feel like it's boring. But if you guys aren't bored, then we'll go full entertainment mode. Yes, please. Okay, let's just grab. Oh, here's a board. Let's just grab this board. The BIOS chip is missing on this board. Let's grab another board. Here, all these boards. I got a plethora of boards. Okay, these are all, should be the same. I have them stacked proper. Proper, nice, stacked. Let me get one that makes sure that has a BIOS on it. It's the same board. Okay. So, do it again. Oops, I'm doing it again. I'm singing a song. All right, so we're gonna rip this. Should I pull out this chip clip, this famous chip clip that you're talking about? I have one right here. Let's see. Let's see how good it clips onto this, because this is not an SOIC. Yeah, here's one right here. Is this what you want? I'm gonna give you what you want. Here it is. Here's these, brand new. So pin one. But the problem is that this is a WSON chip. This is not a SOIC. So I don't know how this is possible. But by golly, when there's a will, there's a way. Okay? All right, so theoretically, here we'll do it like this. I don't know if we'll do a split screen. So theoretically, you're saying that this is possible. Okay? And I don't know. Where did that go? There it is. Okay, here we go. Can it be done? Well, it's really hard to see through the microscope. So we're going to try not to use on the see on the microscope. Well, first off, is this thing even open wide enough? I mean, I'm squeezing hard. And it doesn't seem to go far enough down. See how it's like the teeth, or it's like plastic at the end? It almost needs to be ground down in order for it to touch these pins. Is there a different version of this? Is there a different version? I mean, I think this is the only version. I think this is for the, because this is the newer BIOS chips. This is for the older BIOS chips. But anyway, I'm going to clip it on there. Oh gosh, this thing is struggling. All right, well, it clipped on there. It feels like it's going to crush the chip, but I'm crushing the chip. All right, it's clipped. Look, Mom, no hands. Okay, so we have no hands, which was the premise of the premise. Then the clip is engaged. Oh my gosh, I feel like this is not going to work, but it'd be crazy if it does. Okay, so we're going to go back to this screen. We'll put those guys up there for you, and we'll put this guy up here. Okay, so let's see what you can see. I don't know what you can see. Here, can we see that? Is that better? All right, is this going to detect? Womp womp. I just don't think it goes down far enough. That's the thing. Because it's like the ends of the pins, there's like plastic. I need to put it on a grinder to grind the ends down. Okay. All right. Concur. So we're switching back pogo style. Go pogle. Going pogle. All right. Put that back like that. Nice. And now, detect. Yay! We detected. Okay, so we're going to read this one. Now, I could fix their original one we ripped, but because I don't know if that one's corrupted, that's why I'd rather take a board that doesn't work, but probably doesn't work in a different way, so then probably the BIOS is fine. Oh, that beep is loud. Ooh. We only need 4 more followers on Twitch to hit 1,200. I just noticed that. So we're getting close. Getting close. Okay, I'm going to put this as a rip. I just like to call it rip whenever I rip it. And that just tells me that I just pulled it off a board randomly. And it may or may not work. I guess we don't need those views. I can come back over here. So we're going to go back through our scenario again. Okay. Beep, beep. Okay, where were we at? So we got to erase these. You've done this before. Let's just do it again. So we're going to erase those. We're going to open fits. We're going to drop in our 9700, which is this one. We just ripped it. We're going to drop that in there. We're going to decompose it. We're going to don't save intermediate files. That's only when we reopen it. It needs to have that set. We're going to save as. We're going to save it as 9700. We're going to close it. We're going to go back over here. We're going to open this back up. Now we have our files here. I'm going to take the firmwares out of here. We'll take both of those because this always works. I do this every time. I'm so used to doing this. And it shouldn't have an issue. Take those, copy that, copy, gibberish. You can tell I've done this 1,000 times. So, this time I'm not explaining as much because, you know, I've already done it. All right, there you go. Was that fast or what? Like lightning. Fastest fingers in the West. Oops, we don't want to open that. We want to open this. And then we're going to open that file back up. 9700. Like, same error. All right, failed to decompose region. Decompose the data. Image type. Image type. What the heck is wrong with that? What in the wide world of sports? What in the wide world of sports? Did we hit our... Okay, cool. We hit our Twitch goal. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I don't know. I don't know. That one won't clip on the type of BIOS chip either. I know that. I don't really understand what this error is. Has anybody who does BIOS stuff, have they ever seen that error before? Who does BIOSes? BIOSes. I'm sure there's smart people in here. I think you said the analyzer was 14.1. My tool says 14. Ooh, is that what it is? Boom, I think you nailed it. Let's see. Where's my tool at? You're right. Dude, bro. Oh, no. Oh, okay. No, but I do have a 20. Let me do that 20, a version 20. Now, I'll go back over here and show you the ME Analyzer. So ME Analyzer says the version of the ME region is this, but the version of the tool is this. So 14.0. So Flash tool is that. But I do have a version 20. I was doing version 11, so let's do version 20. Let's do it. Let's do it. Like Tone Loc says, let's do it. Okay. I want to put some music on. Y'all mind if I put some tunes on here? Some Liquid Metal Dreams here. All right, did we already save this? Already saved it, right? No, we haven't. 9700. What am I doing now? Focus, focus, focus. So this is our new decomposed. And then we're going to copy these guys out of here, paste them. All right. All right. I'm not even speaking this out. I'm in the full Zen mode here with my tunes. You nailed it. Thank you. This was all a waste of time because I just opened the wrong one. All right, open just fine. Now we're going to build this image. Yeah. All right, we built the image. The image is built. Image output, we're gonna cut it because I don't wanna leave it in this folder because I don't wanna get mixed up with anything else. So we're gonna put it back over here. And then we're gonna rename this thing to XPS 9700. We're gonna call it clean, come on, clean ME. And that means that the ME region's clean. Now, we can patch it also. Let's go ahead and patch it and get rid of the service tag out of it. Let's do that. That way we have that done. Edit BIOS. We're gonna use this tool here. This is on the interwebs also. And we're gonna run that clean me. Boom, nailed it. All right. So now we have it patched, but I like to rename it again because I like to be organized, and I call this no ST. So now we have a clean me with a clean ME with a no service tag. There we go. All right, we're ready. We are ready to proceed. Indeed, proceed. Okay. I'm getting a little loopy. I can feel it. Tired. Okay, we're gonna add that in there. But this music, I'm vibing, bro. Vibing. This is my brother's music. Again, his playlist, so I don't have to worry about copyright. All right. Line that up like that. Make sure it detects. All right, and program. And then we can chat, man, because we got to. So wrong file name. Did I do something wrong? Wrong file name? Wait, hold on, whoa. What are y'all talking about here? What is this guy saying? Look at, I like how I can click on the name and it gives me all the chat from that one person, so I can really see what they've been saying. So, oh. Bye, oh, Wes. All right. Well, have a good evening. I thought you wanted me to stream for 8 hours tonight. So maybe, yeah, I'll be able to fix the other BIOS too, or the original one we were messing with, but this is the good one too. It doesn't really matter. Every time you hold the motherboard upside down, the electrons fall out. Santa Claus, you're so funny. You're drinking Jean Grand Charles. And I'm not drinking anything, but I will when I get home. Some Buffalo Trace, I still got a little bit of that left. Did I finish the cigars? No, I don't smoke enough cigars to finish the cigars. So I usually have one a week maybe. And so I think I have like one left. But I'm loving it. The new sippy cup, I have it right here. So I usually keep water in it. And yes, I've definitely been enjoying it. Man, can y'all hear the music? This is hitting right here. Water, maybe bourbon. Yeah, I know. A little float of a bourbon in there. This thing's taking forever to erase. There we go. Now we're programming. Yeah. I'm ready for this to work. So I can end on a high note. Be a George Costanza, walk out. End on a high note. You need the T7600. Yes, I do. Or T76. Yeah, I looked at it and it's like, this thing's done every single thing I've ever wanted it to do. But yeah, I wouldn't mind having it. Okay. Whew. I can't believe. Okay, so we got that. This chip clip is not for that. I just wanted to prove it. I knew it the whole time. What did I do with the heatsink? This is not, this is the custom, this is my donor board. What does that mean? Oh, because their board's still installed in here. I was like, where's their board then? I was like, where's the board? Where's the heatsink? It's all in here. Oh my God. My brain is like, yeah, I'm sleepy. I was going to install it and it's already installed. It's magic. Okay. Yes, I am sleepy. That's, we need some bourbon. Actually, I have a pack of oatmeal cookies over here. What I need is an oatmeal cookie. I was at checkout today at the grocery store and they were $1 off oatmeal cookies, fresh made. I was like, love me some oatmeal raisin cookies. Those are my favorites. That's what I used to. I don't like birthday cake, and so whenever it was always my birthday, I would always ask for oatmeal raisin cookies instead. So that was what was at my parties. It's the music. I know the music might be, I'm just vibing too much to the music. Time for bourbon. I only got oh shoot, I gotta hurry because I gotta get home by 10. That's what I want to get home by. It's 20 minutes till. Okay, we're gonna get this. We got this. Okay. Focus, focus, focus. Oatmeal cookies are good to dip in bourbon. Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. That's so funny. Dip it in the bourbon. Yeah, the music is so funky. Funky, funky. Okay. All right, now we can just program again. Because we've already done this before. At least I'm not having an issue holding the clip down on this. Some boards are easier than others. Third time's a charm. Yeah, how many times do you want to watch this little thing go up here? You gotta try that. Oatmeal cookies dipped in raisin. Don't make me laugh though, because that messes up the programmer. It's like marriage. The first two are practice. You're killing me here. If you guys make me laugh, this will mess up the programming. It's like marriage. It has no start and it has no end. It's like a circle. It just goes on forever and ever. Nobody noticed that when you were programming the wrong board is hilarious. That's right. You guys are supposed to be keeping me honest. Do you just replace the board and tell the customer that you fixed it from time to time? Never, not even once I've done that. It's not cost effective to do that, by the way. So if I install a $400 or $800 motherboard and I say, it's fixed, I can't believe, and then take the loss on the board just for my pride, the thing is that that's not worth it, right? Honesty, and I don't need to be perfect all the time, so. You've never been married. I guess there's a lot best I got to do. Yeah, I've been married about to be 20 years. Just curious, what path did you take to learn everything about laptop repair? Just doing. This is all self-taught. So, when I was, how old was I? My first job was, when I was young, I was a bicycle mechanic. I would build bikes and stuff like that. And then I worked at a bowling alley as a first paid job. And then I was working at a call center, and across the parking lot from the call center was this computer store that was storing stuff in the dumpster, like laptops or computer components and stuff. And so I started digging in their dumpster, and then I started building laptops and not laptops, building computers with the junk in their dumpster. And then the computer store saw that I was frequently doing that, and they invited me to be their technician. So I became their technician, even though I didn't really know much about anything. And so I became their technician for a few years, and then I was running the the company's eBay department a few years later, and then they laid me off because they were shutting down their eBay department, and I started my own eBay selling business and computer store, and that was 23 years ago. So, and everything else is just self-taught, so as I just go. So this is the correct board. We can see that we have the correct motherboard right here. It has my test memory in and everything. I do concur. Actually, we'll just install it this way. You lost your wife shy of 50 years. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. 50 years, it's a lifetime. It's a lifetime for sure. I'm not even 50 years old. Do you have any carts? What kind of carts? You're talking about like for games? Games? On my first 31st, on your 31st girlfriend. I was like, it took me a while to read that and understand what you were trying to say there. Did I flash the wrong BIOS on here? Did we select the right one and put it in there and load it right? I worked for Soren first. Now again, all this stuff, like so board level repair, all that stuff is all trial and error. You know, it's basically learning and trying to absorb as much as you can. So best path would be watch all the videos, take notes, watch the videos over again, take notes. Try to put yourself in situations where you have an opportunity to learn something. And if you're failing at learning what it is, you have to just kind of not give up. And that's why I spend extra time on a lot of machines. If I don't know what's causing it, then how am I expected to fix it? And sometimes I do have to call it. You know, I'll spend a lot of time on something like, I can't figure that out. And then the same issue will come up on another machine, so I'll spend another amount of time. And you know, all these EC programmings that I've came up with and I'm able to do, that took trial and error. It took a while to figure out like exactly how that system worked and what symptoms to look for, and like the orange light of death on these. And you know, it's all just kind of like, oh, this is doing this, what could cause this? You know, try out things. And so okay, we're getting there. And I have this, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna have to call it, but it's only so much we can do, so much time, and I'll spend time on it tomorrow and give you all an update. But here we go. 3, 2, 1, power. 0.03 is 0.05, 0.06, 1 amp. Got the Dell screen for a second, shut back off, went back down. Is it gonna come back on? 2 amps. We've never gotten 2 amps before. Do we have fan spin? We don't have fan spin yet. Now theoretically, this thing, because we did clear the BIOS and cleared the, right? Is that what we loaded? Did I end up loading the right one on here? Yes, that's what I was looking for. Thank you. So the fans are on full blast. We got 4 amps, 5 amps coming out of there. Because we cleared the BIOS and cleared the ME region and cleared the service tag, it should put it in manufacturing mode, which puts the fans on full blast. So that's what I'm waiting for. We have fans on full blast. We have fan spin, and we're in manufacturing mode, and boom, Bob is your unk. Bob is your unk. Launching setup. I saved this laptop finally. Yes, so it's been done. I did it. We have picture. Okay, so I actually fixed it this time. Now prior we did kind of, it was a symptom that we were able to, what would you say, figure out that we were, you know, because we're, okay, rewind. So we had the initial issue, right? And we're just kept doing that little boot loop. Then we changed the EC chip out, and then we got it where it did that boot loop, and then it would hang at a certain current, but wouldn't get past it, right? And then we put a BIOS on there. We know that wouldn't work, but we wanted to see if it did something different, and it did something different. We kind of got the Dell screen, kind of got some stuff, you know. And then now we put a clean BIOS on there that we knew would work, and we did it. So that was successful, and it actually ended at a perfect time because going home is what I have to do next. Will it charge the battery? We will do that next, yes. I will go ahead and concur with that assessment that we need to figure out. So this is the customer's original battery. Oh, we have pictures. The Wi-Fi card. It's the Wi-Fi card, I tell you. It has to go through the CMOS reset again. Yeah, so remember, next Sunday we're not having the stream. I'm going to have to skip next Sunday. I'm sorry, so sorry, lo siento. But we will continue next Wednesday for sure. I'm just going to try to check for battery charge. Fans on full blast. Here, let me take it out of manufacturing mode, which is Alt F whenever it comes up. And wait for the Alt F to come up. See if I can get it out. There we go, Alt F. So that's showing that we were in manufacturing mode. Now I'm out of manufacturing mode. So the BIOS chip was faulty. The BIOS was corrupted, but also the EC chip was corrupted too, so I can't really fault that. So it says service tag's not set. We're going to go into diagnostics. I just want to see if it's charging the battery. Vibe in here with the music. We have battery charging, God, it's all blowed out. It's blown. 1 point, whatever. Here, let me dim this. I don't know if I can dim this, but anyway, so you can see the amps going in. The battery's in fair health, so it's not in good health. So let me plug our battery in. The battery he bought from us. Yes, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a hot swap because I'm crazy. No, not a hot swap. I've done it a million times, don't worry about it. Oh, wait. This thing's all bent up. Okay. We'll have this whole thing all happen all over again. Okay, hot swap engaged. It's funny, you can barely even see it. Okay, so now with the hot swap, God, I wish this wasn't so blown out. So if I can turn down the exposure. There we go. So we're in excellent health now, 24%. Now we have 4 amps going into the battery. Or not 4, it can't be because, well, I guess maybe the machine's only using 4.7 total. But anyway, you got it. So the pots from the people are good. We sell good pots. Yeah, so excellent health, all that stuff. We can even look at the charge cycles if you want El Prufo here. Charge cycle should be 1 or 0. Let's see. Oh, it still says 251 because it booted up with his battery installed. So it says 251. So his original battery had 251 charge cycles in fair condition. So we'd have to reboot to see the charge cycles on ours. But anyway, we're good? Any other questions before I go home? Best consider some sleep. Charging great. Happy. What else did I miss over here? Bring your own tools. Which is, let's see, what did you say? Which is the best student going college computer science or AI, ML? I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. This AI stuff is driving me crazy, so I don't know. Can it be because it's 12 volts, not 20 volts? What are we talking about? Oh my gosh, you guys are just blowing me up now. I'm having a hard time reading. What is the cause of the problem to start with? So the person changed the battery out? Live, hot live, which I just did. I gotta turn the exposure back up. But I'm assuming they must have done it, they must have shorted something, they had to have, with a tool or something. Because, I mean, I don't think that the battery would have caused it, but there are data and clock lines hooked in here that could have shorted out the EC chip. But the EC chip definitely got corrupted, or damaged, and so therefore it damaged the BIOS chip. So what certifications do I have? I have 0. Not a single certification do I have. I don't even have a college degree. I don't even have a high school. I got a good enough degree. I didn't graduate from high school. So started the business when I was 21. I went to ITT Tech. I have a 2-year associate's degree in electronic engineer or electronic something. EE maybe? I don't know what it is. It's ITT Tech went out of business for fraud, so I don't count that as anything. Pour some bourbon on it. Oh, pour the bourbon on it, man. What hot air do I use? 450 at 60% air most of the time. I have 3 settings on my meter, my thing here. So I have 3 buttons. So I have this at 300 at 60, 300 degrees at 60% air. This is at 400 at like 40% air. And this is 450 at 60% air. Macho AI. Yeah, I'm so tired of AI. I actually just started shorting the AI market because I'm like, this bubble's got to pop. There's really no way that all this circular funding is working out. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Where like NVIDIA is like investing into OpenAI, and OpenAI said, oh, cool. We got this money from NVIDIA. Let's just go ahead and buy their chips now with the money we have. And then no money's changed hands, just their balance sheets go up. And then Microsoft and Meta and Oracle, and they're all doing the same thing. They're all just like, hey, I'll give you this, you give me this. Okay, mark it on our balance sheets, it goes up. So it's like, it's not like anything's happening. They're just making it look like everything is, worth it or so. I don't know. Anyway, I have a bunch of shorts on now. I'm just like, I mean, they're for late next year, so I don't have to worry about it happening like next month or something, but it's just, yeah. Anyway, yeah, AI is a bubble. Every single person you've talked, so every person I talked to about, I was like, hey, how about that AI? I just talked to somebody today who's actually pretty enthusiastic about it, but most people are like, oh God, I'm just like, oh, so if you know that you can already tell that most people are just kind of over it, then what is the craving for all these people to keep dumping all this money into it, all these companies, all these VCs, Thank you for the live stream. Well, thank you for participating in this journey, right? You purged the AI from your phone. That'd be nice. I just got a couple new, I have a S22, Samsung S22, so it's getting old now, but they just started dumping all these updates, and now my phone's slow as crap, which is, you're so irritating. And so I think they're trying to make it where I need to get a new one. But yeah, they're adding all this AI stuff in there, and I don't want it. AI is a circle jerk. Yeah, circular funding is the issue. It's a Ponzi scheme of some sort, I'm assuming. So does Dell have service manuals on their machines? They have service, yes. On their website, they have a service manual that actually shows you how to take apart the laptop. And then I have on my website manuals where we do videos on every single machine, on most machines, and then we have step-by-step instructions on how to take it apart too. So you can use theirs or ours. It has videos. Be careful with big AI. They will come and get you if you say too much. Yeah, but I'm little man. They're not going to come after me. There's nothing I can do. So do you think it's that the MXIC chip is going to work? Yeah, it works. It was just garbled, basically. If you think about it like that, where it's like the EC chip got, because the EC chip and the BIOS, they speak together, and there was basically just got messed up, garbled information or a bit flip or something. Well, RAM and NAND sorters affect you. Well, it already does. You know how much it costs for RAM now? It's crazy. So I had a pretty good stockpile of 16 gig DDR4 laptop memory. Someone came and bought every stick I have. I actually had 100 sticks off to the side, but they bought like 280 sticks of RAM, and we had it priced too low because they were like open box classification, so they weren't like brand new, but they were not like used or something. And so I had trays of them, and then but we were selling it for like $30 forever. And then the RAM shortage, we put them up to like 49, and then someone bought them, every single one I had listed. So now we basically are just down to the last sticks that we have, and there's nothing I can do about it because I can't order anymore, because I was looking to buy some sticks of RAM for this machine I have right here, $500 if I want two 32 gig sticks. So 64 gig kit. I saw somebody offering to trade a pair of DDR5 sticks of RAM for like a RTX 4070 card or 4080 card or something like that. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, first time stream. Hey, welcome aboard. I'm glad that you made it. You enjoy the videos, so hey, DVA, I'm happy that you came to the stream. I hope you come every single week. We usually have 2 of them, but we're not doing 2. Just to have the end to every sentence with it. I think that Copilot is really great. Okay. Gritty, is Copilot really great, or is that sarcasm? Debloat, dechoke. Yeah, I want to do a full debloat on one of my systems. No, stop and start screaming. Okay, I got to stop reading because I'll just sit here all night. It's 10 o'clock. I got to get home. Like I said, I got to get my kids in bed. So they're waiting for me. My wife's watching the stream. She knows every single time I'm like, I got to leave, you know. So she's like, I heard you say you were going to leave 15 minutes ago. So that's how she knows if I'm coming home is whenever I say. So anyway, so I want to thank all of you guys for coming out tonight. I want to thank all the people who donated to the stream. I am going to pass that money over to these 2 laptops that I worked on. And I want to thank my moderators, the Daves and the Premises, and they are what keeps everything going, keeps the chat clean, and I appreciate each and every single one of you guys from coming out. And no stream next Sunday, but next Wednesday, I'll see you then. Have a great night. I saved another laptop.